Sorry, y'all. I'm late. I was trying to gather my thoughts a little bit. I got some things to say before we get into this third part. And there's a reason, and I think tonight's a perfect example of why I do and am doing what I'm doing. Sebastian is a missing, now 16-year-old from Hendersonville, Tennessee. He's been missing since February 26, 2024. The only thing that has been accomplished over the last 9+ months is a family being shredded for social media content, clicks, and views. Not for the benefit of Sebastian, not because we know these people or have any evidence of anybody being guilty of anything, not because we know what happened to Sebastian, but because of people's theories, thoughts, opinions, demands to know information about their life, their private life. A 16-year-old's dignity has been completely stripped. His family has been mocked, ridiculed, their traumas exposed for fodder on YouTube. And unfortunately, this isn't the first family, and until laws change, it won't be the last. Because creators and subs alike salivate over watching this family's worst moments play out in real time. They love to watch and pick them apart on every single thing they should be doing. They're not doing enough. They didn't do good enough. When in reality, they've forgotten about Sebastian. So to start tonight off, before I get into some of my thoughts on the live that is currently happening, beyond that I'm fucking disgusted, I'm going to open it up and remind some people of the 16-year-old boy who is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and some of the details about Sebastian. So if anybody is out there with information on the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Until this child, this young teenager is found, this family is going to be continued to use as fodder. They're going to be trashed, destroyed, and picked apart because of opinions on YouTube and TikTok, Facebook, and all the other social media platforms. Laws have to change to protect families. This family came to YouTube asking for awareness and has been living with 9 months of complete hell because nothing they do is right. Because unfortunately, we live in a society where people want to point blame here, there, and everywhere. And sadly, most of that falls back to your own insecurities of what you weren't able to do or be, not because you know these people or know that they're guilty of anything or have evidence to prove anything, but because of your own insecurities. So when families are crying out for awareness on their loved ones, because unfortunately so many are missing, people are just giddy over shredding them to pieces. And with that, I'm going to play my intro and we're going to get going because I need a breath.
I'm
Thank you all for joining me. I know that there's more interesting places to be right now, but I refuse to take part in what is happening. And I refuse to watch the parents of a missing child get made into fodder, because that's all that's going to happen out of this. It's going to be twisted and turned, painted narratives with, used as attacks, used for further narratives about a missing child and his family. I wouldn't want to even remotely have to live in their shoes right now. And sorry, I'm looking through my notes really quick. I'm shaking. I'm so pissed. And I'm going to really try to keep my calm about me in this, because this is exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing and walking it back, so people can see that this wasn't the family that started this. This isn't what they asked for. If you've missed part 1 and 2, I highly encourage you to go watch, so you understand that this is what social media did to this family, because they demanded answers to a story that unfortunately just does not have answers at the moment. Whew. So I want to start off the chat while I say a quick hello to people. I want you to remind me, and all of us together, what's something that you've learned over the last 9 months about Sebastian? Something positive about Sebastian. Sebastian loves animals. Sebastian has an infectious grin. Sebastian loves anime. Tell me something you've learned about Sebastian to start this off. Because the only thing that's been lost over the last 9 months is Sebastian and Sebastian's dignity. And this is what you can thank social media for. Hey, Pika. Hey, Diana. Donna. Benny Ray. Passion for Victims. Duchess. CCC. Rocky. Mal, I'm not going to go over all of it. No, because unfortunately, I don't have the words right now to say what I'm thinking properly, appropriately, and I would hurt a lot of feelings. Hey, mother, 2 boys. Hey, shop. Chris. Running Bear. Thor. Yeah, they've also been stalled, harassed, and defamed. Yes, they sure have. On the daily. Hey, Chatty. If I'm feeling this way, I can't even imagine how they're feeling. I can't even imagine how they're feeling right now. Hey, KCG. Hey, Aries. Yep. Praying for the missing. Much love to all. They're doing the best they know how to do. This is uncharted waters for parents. Yeah. Truly it is. Hey, Steph. Hey, Elizabeth. We have to write the laws only. Change, create. Yeah. Yep. I'm really fucking pissed right now. Hey, Captain. And by the way, I'm going to make a clear distinction. Hey, Amy. Oh, Amy, thank you so much. Well, Pika, I'm going to come looking for you, but I promise I will protect you and not bring it to YouTube. Now they're on a panel together. Seth went there. He can play chess. Okay, hold on. Hey, Dazed and Amazed. Hey, Moon. Yeah. When I left, just Chris was up there. He likes to swim. He loves to play chess. He likes your favorite hockey team, Nashville Predators. Elizabeth, it's from Truce Live. He cracked jokes to cheer people up as he passed them. He loved school. He loves snakes. Loves music. Eclectic taste. He was in FFA. He wanted friends. Loves cats. Makes people smile and laugh. Well-mannered. Loved his mother. Loved all of his parents. Hey, New Leaf. Hey, everybody coming in. Ooh, Steph. That sounds good. He loves Nutella. He loves, what's that stuff? Tofu. He liked mac and cheese. Likes mac and cheese. Loves animals. Loves cats. I'm roboting. Did it get better? Is it better now? He loves to play video games, Nintendo Switch. Halloween is a favorite holiday. Tofu, yep. That always stood out to me because tofu is such a different like texture. He loves Taylor Swift. Fearless was a word at one point in time that was used to describe him. He was absolutely into all sorts of different types of music, from oldies to new age stuff. He liked going to Waffle House with his dad. Likes the color green, loves reptiles. Sorry, I just needed something to like think about all of the things, the positive things, because everything is so negative. Everything is so negative right now. This whole thing is just gross. But I guess this is what true crime is built off of, right? In my opinion, this is not true crime in any way, shape, or form. This is definitely not. Oh, hold on. Duchess just sent me a new flyer. Or the most recent one she did. Let me grab that and I'll put it up on the screen. Okay, let me add this really quick over here. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. I'm discombobulated a little bit after listening to that and listening to people demand answers. Like that just kind of, whew, that's all I can say. I got to process my thoughts a little bit on this, but I know what's going to happen here. So let me add this really quick. Give me 1 second. It's going to pop up in just a moment. Thank you, Duchess. And here is a picture of Sebastian for those of you that might be in the Tennessee or anywhere. Sebastian has been missing since February 26th. There's no sign of where he is. Unfortunately, no new information. And if you see him or know anything about his whereabouts or his location, please call your local police department even. You can also call 1-800-TBI-FIND. You can call Sumner County Sheriff's Office. You can call the FBI. Call law enforcement. I do not care which law enforcement agency you call. Just call law enforcement, please. That's all I ask. Sebastian deserves to be found and brought home. Okay, deep breaths, everybody. You guys ready to start part 3? I think tonight is a great example. So let me give you a synopsis of what's going on for those that might not know. And I'm going to take his picture down. I'll show it at the end. Please remind me to show it at the end if anybody's still awake. So tonight, Elevated Truth decided to go live. Elevated Truth is in my opinion, a newer creator. I don't know if this is his first case. I don't know what he considers himself. I don't know if he considers himself true crime, what the situation is there. I'm not going to get caught up in the weeds on that because most of those creators kind of identify as true crime besides body moving. Some of them like overlap and trauma, like it varies. So he goes live, and let me explain it. So the title of his video is "I'm Done Holding My Tongue. Time to speak some truth about Sebastian Rogers." Now, when I first started listening to it, I didn't know what was going on. Duchess texted me and said, "Hey, did you know?" And I said, "No." So I went into peek and see, okay, what the fuck now? What the fuck now? And at first I was like, okay, I can kind of understand, like I can understand some of the things he was saying. Some of it I agreed with. There's some stuff that I absolutely agree with because I don't think it's beneficial to anybody when there's games played or anything like that. But unfortunately, because of the way social media in this quote unquote true crime sector, and let me be very clear, this is not true crime. This is not true crime. This has nothing to do with true crime. You would never see people like Duty Ron letting 5 people on panel and not all of them, and please understand this, not all of them were taking a shot at him or going at him, but they would never, that just wouldn't happen in real true crime creators, in my opinion. I do not think that would ever transpire. But they start doing this panel, and then he opens it up and he sends links to Clue, Queen, Granny, and Body moving. So everybody goes up there and they're having a discussion. And Body is the only one out of all of them that has not had personal discussions with the Proudfoots ever. And she said that, so I want to make that very clear. But they're discussing some of the things that have been going on, some of the rumor mill stuff, things that are being said. And then there was some stuff that was being, they claim that it wasn't implied. It was definitely more accusatory and not very clear about what was stated about a Wi-Fi signal in the area. So in my perspective, there was a Wi-Fi signal when law enforcement, after Sebastian went missing, they tested for a Wi-Fi signal in the area. And this is my interpretation, but I'm not even going down that road because it's opened Pandora's box already. And I'm over it. And you guys can feel however you feel. Like, you can have opinions on what you think happened, who you think's involved, but we don't make accusations. I don't think any of the parents are involved. That is my personal belief, and I will stay on there until there's there evidence from law enforcement to say otherwise. I will not allow them to be attacked in my chat, period, point blank, end of story. That's just where I stand. And I also am not going to attack Seth either. I will question behaviors, absolutely. But supposedly Chris has had a conversation with multiple people on the panel about a Wi-Fi signal. And law enforcement, that they didn't even realize that it was his signal when they tested for, did the geofencing or tested for Wi-Fi signals. And when it was said, it was very kind of accusatory. It wasn't said as clearly as it should have been. So it opened up Pandora's box for people to be like, Body instantly was like, wait, what are you saying? And so then they kind of hemmed and hawed back and forth. And then it was discussed, no, we're not saying that he was there specifically in the time frame of when Sebastian went missing, but when law enforcement arrived and tested, law enforcement didn't realize that when they tested it, it was Chris's Wi-Fi because his truck was there. So this was after he had went missing. After he went missing on the 26th, when law enforcement does this network testing, they picked up Chris's Wi-Fi signal from his truck. Has nothing to do with him being there during the hours of him being missing. None of that. From what Chris said, because Chris, trust and believe, he went up there. Most of you guys know this. And addressed it for himself. And he was like, he explained what had actually happened, but there was a pretty hefty implication about well, was he actually there? Like, question mark, like open-ended the way it was said. And this is something that has happened in true crime. Most of you guys that watch these creators, Pascal, Smiley, I mean, how many have we done? JLR, Clue, a bunch of them. Even when they first covered this case, you could see it go from awareness to implications, dangling carrots to start painting narratives to imply one's guilty or the other. Chris was defensive, rightfully fucking so, because obviously along the way he's trusted some of these people with conversations, whether they've taken it right, wrong, indifferent, their own experience with it, how it was said, miscommunicated, and then it just builds from there. But the entire chat of 2.5K people starts, well, I'd say 75% of them start calling him a child abuser, calling him saying, where's Sebastian? Demanding answers about CPS reports. The entire thing was just open season. On the parents of a missing child, the stepfather of a missing child. You don't have to like this man. You don't have to know this man. You don't have to nothing. They came to social media asking for awareness to be brought to their child. Awareness to look for Sebastian. And what they got was met with, we're going to dig into every little thing in your life and make it into a salacious story that we can sell to our audience for them to eat up. Yes, Elizabeth, it's going on currently. If you want to check out and go look at it, please do. It's on the Elevated Truth channel. And all that was provided tonight was further ability to accuse, harass, point fingers. It didn't calm anything down. It did quite the opposite. We are not entitled to answers from parents of missing children. We are not entitled as a society to people's worst moments. And until laws are changed to stop this from happening, it's going to continue. Whether you like these people or not, can you imagine if that would have been done to Seth? Can you imagine if that was ever allowed to be done to Seth? That he was piled on and the chat was allowed to just go south and ask him questions. I've never done that to Seth. Seth doesn't owe me shit. Seth doesn't owe any of you shit. The only person these people owe anything to is Sebastian. The only person these people owe anything to is Sebastian. But these people claim they're true crime, right? They're going to solve a case. They're going to dig in there and solve a case. Now, I might not like Clue as a person, but I do appreciate that she's been out there on the ground searching. I can absolutely say that. Stephen Crabtree, I appreciate that he's been out in those woods searching. Something I can't do. I'm not in Tennessee. So I'm not going to knock people for actually going out and searching. But I'm also going to acknowledge law enforcement. Law enforcement has been in this case since jump, poured their heart and soul into finding this missing child, missing teenager. And people act like they are completely incompetent pieces of shit. And that social media creators on YouTube who have no skill, no nothing, are going to be the ones to bring this child home. That law enforcement doesn't care. They gave up, Now, because people dislike Tyler Feller, it's okay. Oh, he's a creep. He deserves what he gets. No, I'm sorry. No church, no congregation deserves to be targeted because of false fucking narratives on social media. That puts more people than Tyler Feller in danger. And I'm sorry, I will never dislike somebody just because of their poor behaviors and what they've done to somebody else. Doesn't mean this is okay to happen to him. Because now Tyler Feller, a pastor, is being targeted, claiming that him and his congregation have something to do with trafficking of children. If you can sit there and say, oh, well, he was discussing in this case, so who cares? You're a fucking weirdo. Because I'm sorry, we've all made mistakes in our lives. And I, for one, am pretty proud of the fact that Tyler Feller isn't touching these cases and walked away. I'm pretty proud to say that when I looked at that, he's not exploiting children anymore. Yeah, he made plenty of mistakes, unforgivable mistakes by those families that he harmed. But just because of those, his entire congregation and his church, a place of worship, doesn't deserve to be targeted because of weirdos on social media who think they are owed an answer from some fucking weirdo that his mama holds antennas on her goddamn roof with tinfoil on them when he's having a power outage or a fucking internet outage, and his goddamn riddles. If you think any of that is okay, of what's happening to any of these people, please leave. Please exit my chat and don't ever come back. Because you'll never be a part of change. And we want change. We don't just talk about it. We want it. More and more every day. I'm really pissed right now. And there's so much I would like to say. Because now your favorite creators are going to go live and pick apart every single thing Chris Proudfoot said and or these creators said on that panel. They're going to twist it. They're going to turn it. They're going to paint more narratives. And what happens? Sebastian is further out of the picture. I get that sometimes as creators, we're told things that is really hard to sit with. It's really hard to sit with some of this stuff. I've had reactions to some of it too. We are 6 days away from Christmas. Their first Christmas without Sebastian. And this is what's happening to this family. So for the next 6 days, because of Chris deciding to take the link and defend himself to a pretty hefty allegation that was pretty open-ended, now their family is going to be ridiculed, stalked, harassed, and all of it restarts again. This is true crime. This is what we do. We're true crime. This is what we do. You're just jealous because true crime accepts me. If scumbuckets that label themselves true crime accept you, I am fucking glad they don't accept me. Fucking glad. I'm stunned. I'm stunned because this is not victim advocacy. This is not victim-centered. This is none of it. If this was victim-focused, they would have talked about Sebastian. Any updates on Sebastian, which unfortunately there's not. Yeah, harassing families is now called true crime, don't you know? Awareness for a missing child is now turned into the so-called true crime creators thinking they're armchair detectives and they're going to solve the case. Oh, homie, it sure is, man. Sure fucking is. Okay, so I'm going to do what I do. Because the one thing that I'm never going to be good at is kicking a family when they're down. I might take some pokes off of things they've said that I don't understand or don't agree with, because at the end of the day, it's exploiting their own child's well-being and dignity. So I'm far from perfect. Let me be clear. But I am never going to sit up here and puff my chest and say, it's my career to have a panel and talk about true crime and bring children home. Because first of all, we're not doing anything to help bring this child home. Let's be very clear. None of us are helping bring this child home. Those out there looking, now that's a different story. They're actually out there looking on the ground. Law enforcement will be who is involved in bringing this child home. law enforcement, people like EquiSearch who dedicated their time and energy into this case also. Organizations who do this and are victim-centered, who don't come on here and cut down the families and call it a career. I am never going to speculate and sit here and feel okay about publicly speculating about child abuse, sexual assault, and somebody else's trauma. I am never going to be okay doing that. Because I wouldn't want it done to me. If my family or one of my girls was to go missing, God forbid that ever happened, I'd be in a straitjacket. $2,500 people salivating over this family's worst moments of their life. We have no evidence that any of them are involved. None. I don't get it. So I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to walk a timeline back and continue to show people the difference between awareness and exploitation. The public optics that are completely changed and manufactured and fabricated by social media creators who call it their career and their job to exploit these families. That's what I do best, because I'm going to use these situations as examples to get high up people to pay attention to what's happening to these families, the real epidemic that is becoming in our country of exploitation of and profiting off of people's worst moments. And if I ever fucking hear somebody say on this app that Katie isn't a victim, you deserve to have the fucking every toe of yours crushed for saying shit like that. Because just because somebody communicates with their ex for their best benefit or what they think is the best for their child, making impossible decisions that you don't ever want to have to be faced with, that you have to communicate with your abuser, and you might not even recognize that you're an abuse victim because that's all you've ever had in your life. Maybe this is the first time that you've never been abused. Maybe this is the first relationship that you've never been abused in, and you didn't even recognize yourself as that, and you were just trying to do anything because you love your kid. Guess what? All of us make fucking mistakes as parents. But I don't ever want to hear somebody say that Katie's not a victim. They're all victims right now. Yep. Sure do. 100% Elizabeth. It wasn't said exactly like that, Amy, but it was, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there, all of it. All of it. Just too much. It's way past dangerous. It's way past dangerous. This is way past dangerous. Heartbreaking. Look at the emotional roller coaster we are on, and we don't even have the child missing. Could you not even imagine what these, Kim, in 6 days before Christmas, 6 days before Christmas, you know how hard it is to be a single mom and make choices for a child that has behavioral problems and you want to, you just continue to hope that maybe something like, I can't even imagine. I'm not even in the space where I just can't imagine all these perfect parents judging these other parents, like especially the moms judging the decisions that other people have made that don't even raise their own kids, like things like that, like people that sit there and just judge other people's worst moments like a microscope. The one thing I have to give applause to is Body said missing people's cases do not belong on social media. It wasn't said exactly like that, but awareness for missing is needed on social media. 100%. Flyers, factual information, everything is needed. But beyond that, this is not true crime. Missing children, missing adults should not be treated as crimes until there is indication of a crime. Awareness and a crime are two different things. This should have never even touched into quote unquote true crime. Truly, these people are just the grimy fucking scum of the earth. That's it. And for those of you saying, Becky, get off your soapbox. No, fuck you. I'm going to stay right on this soapbox. I'm going to stay right on the soapbox because I will not shut up. If it makes me look smarter or know it all, it's not hard to walk back and look at the timeline of how this family has been exploited. It's not hard to do what I do. It's not hard to be a decent human being. If that makes me a know-it-all or better than, then fucking sure as shit I will be that every goddamn day, because I'm never going to lower myself to the standards of these scumbuckets who just salivate over these families' worst moments to rip apart for fucking content. I will stick to ripping apart the creators who do this for a living time and time again, and then they move along like it was nothing. Sebastian deserves dignity, and so do all the other victims that have had this done to them. Brandy Neal, Michael Monkey Vaughn. What just happened? Oh my God, don't even get me started on that shit. Ever started on that shit. It's too much. Summer Wells, her family. Insert name. This playbook of sorts that they use to build channels off of somebody else's worst moments while salivating over speculating about horrific crimes that could have, should have, might have. Can you imagine being so giddy over something horrible happening to a teenager at the hands of their parents? Can you imagine being so giddy and just waiting for the worst outcome possible? Mimi Evate, thank you for the super sticker. I can't stand humans. I can't. Can't. Most of you I like. You guys know that. But for the majority, I don't like humans, and this is why. BJ, yeah. Mm. EW, I understand. I'm sorry that you feel that way too. Hey, everybody coming in. All right, let's carry on with our timeline, because I don't have to tell you what these people are doing to these families. I can show you. I can show you. I can take it back to the very beginning. So far we have wrapped up. We are through the 6th of March. We've only gotten in 2 episodes from the 26th of February to the 6th of March. We've shown what the difference is between media coverage and awareness, local media wanting awareness, getting the word out, what activism looks like, credible journalists, what they look like and how they cover a case, versus when social media interjects themselves. And we've also gotten a good display of what awareness on social media should look like versus exploitation and building a narrative for the true crime case, for the true crime community. So we are going to start with March 7th. If you haven't watched the previous two, there's so much in there to watch. There's like 11 hours of content already just in that short a time. And we are looking at how social media interjects themselves in these cases, not to bring awareness, but to build narratives against people going through their worst moments. And they build upon that, and they build upon that until everything fractures and it can't be put back together. Because while we all get to shut it off and go back to our normal lives, these people's lives forever are changed. No matter if Sebastian walks in that door tomorrow, these people's lives will never go back to normal. This is forever going to impact their lives. And no matter what the outcome is of Sebastian being found, people will never allow this family to breathe normally again. All because of lies, rumors, speculation, and people's opinions. All right, ready to go? Here we go. Thank you for letting me vent. So this is from Caitlin Miller, March 7th. Every day is harder than the last. Mom and stepdad cling to hope and search for Sebastian.
At Granger, we're for the one.
And of course, there's an ad. I mean, why wouldn't there be an ad? Social media, right? We'll try to get through as much as we can tonight. I just needed a distraction. I was pacing and I was giving Kyle the play-by-play after we ate dinner. And I was just like, I was shaking. I was so angry. Shaking. And then I was like, not worth it.
Well, we start tonight with breaking news as Sumner County Sheriff's investigators search a Kentucky landfill and the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers.
The 15-year-old who has autism vanished 11 days ago. Tonight, his mother and stepfather are talking to Fox 17 News in their Shackle Island home after learning about the search.
We just want our boy home.
Well, the family lives near Beach High School, and that's the last place that anyone says they saw Sebastian.
Now tonight, his mother.
We just want our boy home. Something that has never changed at all.
Mother and stepfather tell us they will do anything to bring him back home. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller is live in the Shackle Island community with their reaction to the landfill search.
Well, Sebastian's mother and stepfather say that they're distraught. They say that they're waiting for him to walk in that front door, and they say they're still hopeful that he will. It's been 11 days since Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his home. Sebastian's mother and stepfather did not want to show their faces for this interview because they say they were too emotional.
I can't put words to how hard this has been and how much it hurts not knowing where my son is.
And they got ripped apart for not showing their faces. Well, why aren't they showing their faces? What are they hiding for not showing their faces? What are they doing? Why not? They don't love him. That's why they're not showing their faces. Why are they emotional? They're not saying the right things. Oh, did you hear them? They didn't breathe right. I've seen so many creators rip this apart, and we're going to see a couple examples of that coming up.
Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot, says the last time she saw Sebastian was when she put him to bed on Sunday night, February 25th.
And when I told him to go to bed, he's like, I love you, Mom. I love you, puppies. And he went to bed. And I went to bed around midnight. Everything seemed fine. And when I went to wake him up for school, that's when I couldn't find him. He wasn't in his room.
Katie says this was around 6 o'clock Monday morning.
My very first reaction was, oh, he got up and got breakfast. But when I realized he actually wasn't in the house, I've never experienced sheer panic.
Katie says she called her husband, Chris Proudfoot, who's Sebastian's stepfather. Chris says he was in Memphis for work. They immediately called police. Katie says none of his shoes are missing, and the front door was locked.
There are no leads, nothing caught on video. Your son has been missing for 11 days now. How does that make you feel as parents?
I mean, I don't have words to describe how I'm feeling right now. I mean,
Looks to me like he's just sitting there to comfort her. She's rubbing nervously his arm.
every day is harder than the last.
Police are now investigating a landfill. People are speaking out about that.
Yeah, Kim, we heard that on Sweetie Pilos that they have that on camera for just walking out the door and just screaming for him.
What are your thoughts about that?
Everybody has an opinion and their assumptions, and they are entitled to those. But as I've stated before, all we've asked people.
And now in this series, in part 2, you should get a very clear indication of why he is stating the things he is stating. Because after Duchess's interview, well, not even after, before Duchess's interview, creators, people on Facebook were attacking this family. The first Facebook group was made on the 27th of February. The first private Facebook group was made on February 27th. The allegations, the accusations, I thought they ran media off with a pew-pew. That's what the rumors were. And here there's an interviewer sitting in their living room interviewing them. But we already have seen by this point in time, by the 7th of March, by the way, JLR's Facebook group, I think was started on the 6th. They didn't really start promoting it until later on. But his Facebook group the name was switched because it was a pre-existing group that they just switched over the name of, because why not? We're just going to keep exploiting one case after another. They were already being attacked, but because he says that on the 7th in this interview, because there was already allegations swirling. They were being questioned in Duchess's when they were trying to bring awareness to Sebastian because of social media.
What to do is to look at the facts, not what everybody's putting out there. If they have questions, call the law enforcement agencies.
Both parents say they want to focus their energy on finding Sebastian.
We love you and we miss you and we want you to come home. And just know that we all care about you so much.
Your puppies miss you. Your family misses you. I miss you.
Oh, and he got ridiculed because he said the puppies miss him. He got ridiculed because he said the puppies miss him first. Sebastian loves animals. They're begging. This is them begging for him to come home. But this wasn't the correct begging, I guess, according to social media.
Just come home.
Hoping to bring him home. The agencies investigating told us they would let us know when there are updates to this investigation, but as of right now, there are no leads or video as to where Sebastian Rogers may be. But of course, we're all praying for a safe return. Reporting live from Sumner County, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Okay, so again, that was the 7th. Just to show full transparency. Here is another one from the 7th. This is from News Channel 5 on the 7th. And here we go.
Exclusive Sky 5 video showing the latest search for a missing teen. Exclusive Sky 5 video showing the latest search for a missing teen out of Sumner County. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. Sebastian Rogers has now been missing for 11 days. And today, investigators turned their attention here to a landfill in Kentucky.
You know what, Kim? Chris is entitled to be an asshole. I'm an asshole and don't have a missing child. Even if he is, so be it. So be it. I would be so much more than an asshole at this point, and already would have been. I'm an asshole and I don't have a missing child. It's okay to be an asshole. Just because you're an asshole doesn't mean you have anything to do with a child's missing or disappearance. But not according to social media. We forgot. Sorry, I just saw that and I had to say something.
Kentucky.
Meanwhile, the TBI today releasing these 4 new photos of the 15-year-old who has autism. Now, this activity marking the first real lead since the search began. Nick Barris.
And by the way, to all of the 95 that are in here, 97 of you, I know that you could choose anywhere else to be tonight, especially in the drama, bullshit and salivating over everything. Some of you, I know some of the Islanders are over there defending the family, which I saw you guys in the chat. Major props. I can't physically do it. I knew to step away. But to the rest of you that are here because this matters, because you want laws to change, you are so appreciated.
Now with the latest details.
The search for Sebastian Rogers continues in the neighborhood where he disappeared, and part of that now includes tracking down and tracing garbage. That's right. Garbage could contain vital clues to the investigation.
Oh, wait. Is that the FBI out there in their backyard recreating the scene? Or taking camera footage? Oh, no, wait, let's look again. I think I must be seeing things. Is that law enforcement with investigative tools? Oh, but they didn't do enough, did they?
Garbage could contain vital clues to the investigation. We know that Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his Hendersonville home a week ago Monday. His mother reported him missing around 6 a.m. Since then, there's been a massive search effort from the air and on the ground.
Revival is like my spirit animal in chats at times. I don't know how she does it.
It's safe to say crews have searched just about everywhere for the autistic teen within a 5-mile radius of the home and have found nothing. But one thing they did not search is the garbage, and that is why Sumner County deputies and Kentucky State Police spent the day searching a landfill in White Plains, Kentucky. Why there? Well, News Channel 5 has learned that trash in the Stafford Court neighborhood is picked up every Monday between 5 and 6 a.m., and it was sent to that landfill. So,
Tebow, actually, after the first of the year, I have something better up my sleeve that I will be doing. And probably asking the Islanders for help. But Duchess and I have been communicating a lot over the last week about some ideas that we have and some things that we would like to do and see to help us bring awareness to the exploitation that's being done and like bigger scale coverage of what we're talking about. So I genuinely think we have some good ideas up our sleeves. Yeah, Mal, we're going to need it. So after the first of the year, we're going to get through the holidays and then we're moving into action phase. 2025 is going to be the year of action.
So all the trash from the neighborhood dumpsters, including the trash bin at Sebastian's home, was...
And by the way, I hope Katie never sees this. But Katie, if you do ever see this, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. Chris, I'm sorry. Seth, I'm sorry. And mostly Sebastian, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that social media and random strangers have made your family's struggles fodder. But we are determined to stop this. It might not happen in the next couple of years, but it will happen. And your strength is giving us strength to see this forward, and we will see it through.
Picked up and gone before the teen was even reported missing. Officers are digging through trash and the landfill looking for any clues. They don't know what they'll find, but say the search is part of leaving no stone unturned. There's the possibility some evidence was disposed of in the trash. In the meantime, authorities were back at the family house today in the backyard appearing to take photographs.
Oh no, not the authorities back again. 11 days later. Not the authorities back again doing their jobs.
No one is giving up on the search effort for Sebastian, but at the same time, authorities appear to be moving forward with a possible criminal investigation.
And of course, they're going to search landfill. A trash truck was one of the only things going through that neighborhood. By the way, one of our first shirts will be isolated by choice. And on the back, it'll say together on a mission or together for a mission or something like that. That will be our first Islander merch shirt. And we'll decide on a charity together for the proceeds to go to. But it'll say isolated by choice. And then on the back, something about together on a mission, together for a mission. That was Terry and Revival's thoughts put into action. Look at that go.
They have named no suspects, and detectives say that Sebastian's family has been cooperative. As this investigation continues to evolve, authorities are still going through security camera video obtained from homes in this neighborhood, and they do continue to depend on tips from the public. In Sumner County, Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
Nick, thank you. Anyone with information about this case is asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Okay, so this is March 7th. So we've seen the interview with Chris and Katie. We have seen that the landfill was searched. And of course, like I said, the trash was through the area. They're not only looking for their specific trash can and the trash out of their house, but they're looking at neighbors. Did anybody throw something away in some sense? They're looking for anything and everything, not just one specific thing. Did they have something in mind? Possibly. But they're going to look through anything and everything. It's part of an investigation. So, any ideas where we're going to go next? Oh, Lord. Smiley, March 7th. So, by this point in time, we've already seen how she has been acting over the last few days because she, unfortunately, was one of the first creators to get involved. And even though she is a smaller creator compared to the 100 and 200,000, subs that have been JLR, Ikmel, Pascal, she's on the smaller scale. But what she said and did was very problematic. And we saw her freak out. I'm going to remind everybody right quick, just because we need some humor and I need something lighthearted. So after Duchess's interview, we saw her epic meltdowns and her contacting law enforcement, her calling and recording law enforcement, using it for content. We saw exactly what she was doing. It went from awareness of a missing child in an area that she claims to have grown up in and have family in to exploitation of a missing child overnight for Smiley.
Did y'all not see it? It was Duchess. See it. It was Duchess.
Yeah. It was all Duchess. I'll never get sick of this button. All right. So here we go.
These people are leaving no stone.
Holy shit. What's up with those brows? Sorry. Petty Becky's coming out.
There has been something else that came out. I don't know if anybody saw it or not. Hey, Brandy D. Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. As we know, this is Sebastian right here. Hey, Mama Bear. Good morning.
We're going to speed her ass up because we got a few more creators on the 7th and the 8th is a busy day.
Good morning to everybody coming in and everybody that's watching in the bushes. As of about 45 minutes ago, they now say they're going to search the Kentucky landfill. It is going to be searched in connection to missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Investigators with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office are searching a landfill in Kentucky where trash from missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers' neighborhood went. Officials stated that there is no specific information that indicates evidence related to the search for Sebastian may be there. They said his search is precautionary. They want to eliminate the possible options and questions. And they said they will update as soon as possible.
Let me do that.
These people are leaving no stones unturned.
Absolutely. They're
hey,
not.
Brandy and that girl, everybody. So that is some new information as of about 40 something minutes ago. Today's Thursday, March 7th, 2024.
Thank you for
And we are still looking for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers.
We need to put a bolo on part of the ones missing. Sorry, now I can be a smart ass. Now I can be my smart ass self.
Day 11. I pray he's found safe as well, Mama Bear. I pray. This is now, in my opinion, what we call, or I call, or my generation calls, hoping and holding on to a wing and a prayer. A wing and a prayer. There's not much of a chance, but there's still hope, and everybody is holding out the hope. And I'm asking you to please hold tight to that hope. Hey, Rachel, and everybody coming in, the real Brenda. The Amber Alert for Sebastian is still active. LE there is still very much active and involved. They are working hard, so hard, 24/7. Unlike any other I have saw, they are working hard.
Oh, wait, she acknowledged that law enforcement was working hard, unlike any other she's ever seen. By the way, Mal, I just saw your last text, and I just set it up to do exactly what you suggested. Good suggestion, because I didn't do that, but I did. And here I have this also. Oops. Whoops. We're on a roller coaster. Here we go. Petty in full effect coming right out.
They're doing everything humanly possible, in my opinion, to find him. And they're asking for all footage going back to that Sunday, the 25th. They're asking for anything, no matter how small or how silly that you may think it may be.
Oh, and just a reminder, one other thing to the haters in the back that say, oh my God, nonsense is so immature. Like, how dare she attack these creators? As long as I have air in my lungs, these creators will reap the benefits of their actions. And one of the benefits of their actions is me getting to use their own words to mock and shame them. They have no problems attacking, harassing, stalking, all the things to families of missing children. I have no problem mocking them and using their own words to show what travesties they are. They're not bringing awareness. They don't care about missing children. They care about their own bullshit narratives. So petty with the creators will continue to happen over and over and over again. Okay. All right.
There's nothing in this case that is too silly or too small.
Oh,
they've done their press conferences. They've took time out.
Duchess, one other thing. God, I haven't talked to you all day. Can you, oh yes. We got a members emoji coming up. Oh my God. Yes, girl. Can you also do us a toupee emoji for Lesniaks? Can we have a members emoji that's just a toupee, please? I'll do this while you guys are listening to this. I'll try to load this. Oh God, we're on a mission.
While others searched, but they don't take long. They're back to it. They're like, we got to get back out there and search. I'm sorry to cut it short, but they are keeping everybody up to date as much as humanly possible. They're asking you to report anything, any little thing, even if you might think it's silly. Don't think it's silly. Don't think it's a waste of time, and don't think it's a waste of resources. It is not. Let me stress to you, it is not. And they are begging for everything. They want Sebastian found. Sebastian is one of their own. Sebastian is one of their own, and they're really pouring their blood, sweat, and tears into this.
Sure.
So don't let anybody make you feel like you're wasting anybody's time, because you're not.
They do.
If you think you know something, seen something, heard something, might have dreamed something, I don't know.
Might have dreamed something?
Call them.
That's a little weird.
If anything's out of place, call them. If you have a video or you know anything, even if you can't understand it, that's okay. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to make sense of it.
Well, no shit.
Let them make sense of it. That's their job. Call Detective Carter at 615-442-1865 or email bcarter@sumnersheriff.com. You can also call 451-3838. That's the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center. Or TBI, 1-800-TBI
Run.
find. There are Mama Bear
Members, you should have a new emoji popping up soon.
some around there. They have Dave and Buster's. They have up at the mall, inside the mall, places like that. And I'm sure that they have been, at the pizza. They're everywhere, but I'm sure that they have covered that.
Hey, Amanda.
I'm sure all eyes and ears, there's no doubt, have been covered and continue to be. Everyone in that area, even people that's not in that community, has been on the lookout for him.
I'm speeding her up again.
Promise it. Promise it. This is one that's not going away. It's one that people is not ignoring. It's very serious. People are taking this very, very serious. Yeah, it's hard to explain unless you know and you're familiar with it. The reason I am so...
Goodbye, Kimberly. Have a good night. Sorry. No. I have my own morals too. But I'm gonna absolutely take the pot shots. Absolutely. 100%. I'm petty and I'm immature. Yep, gonna do it. So if it bothers you, I absolutely understand. You please check out, because while they're kicking families going through their worst moments and making accusations on families, the least of anybody's worries should be me making fun of a fucking eyebrow that's missing. Okay.
Oh, I'm passionate about all these kids. I can't tell you how passionate I am on this case right here. It makes me angry. It makes me angry. Hey, bro.
Yeah, nobody's ever going to come in here and tell me that I'm fucking, ooh, look shaming. Fuck yeah, I'm going to look shame these people. Abso-fucking-lutely. It's about the nicest I can be.
Angel, my third son is autistic. He's 28 now. However, I know a lot about this, a lot about it.
Pretty much every one of them, Chico. And you don't see that energy. You never see these people that have, Becky should have morals, ever over in those chats saying, oh my God, we don't do that. Oh my God, you mocked Becky having brain damage. Oh my God. You don't see that energy. So save it for fucking somebody else. I'm over it. Tonight's just perfect night. Goodbye. Sayonara. Goodbye.
It also bothers me because at his age, of course, he's 28 now, but at 15, well, turn my Wi-Fi.
I ain't above that shit. Never said I was, never going to be. No fucking today. Not
This
today,
is Sebastian.
not tomorrow.
This is Sebastian. He's missing. He's 15.
Especially
At 15, this is my son at 15.
And instantly weaponizing her family to make a point. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. By the way, for those in the back, this is the woman who just said that Chris had a child that he had nothing to do with and walked out on. Chris would have been 7 years old. 7. I have nothing for her. There will never be a nice word that comes out of my mouth towards this woman. Period.
That's my son at 15. Same age. To me, they could be brothers. Everybody don't have the same eyes. They don't see the same thing. But that's just me. I also have a lot of connections there. I have a lot of...
Because it's the emotional pull, Amanda. It's the emotional pull. Lip locked. You're with me. You're with me on this one. I have nothing good, especially when she's attacked people I love and care about.
People in the surrounding neighborhoods. I know, Borrowed Angel, and I am not taking this too lightly. I don't take any of them too lightly.
Oh.
But I'm not here about the horse shit on this case. And that's a fact.
Oh, really? But she's going to create the horse shit. Gotcha, Dutch.
See, this is Sebastian.
Oh, God. Dutch is like a wizard at these. Oh, my, yes. Okay.
My son at 15.
Got it. Thank you. This is great.
Sebastian is a part of this community and everybody there and around the community, around the state of Tennessee, beyond the state of Tennessee. It's got around lots of states now is wanting him found. Something about this did not smell good from the very beginning.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
But now it has turned into an investigation.
No, it has not.
Not to say, allegedly, anyone in that house is
And it's still
a
not.
suspect. But let's get real. Anytime you don't have a footprint, someone goes missing out of your home, you are a prime suspect, whether you like it or you don't like it. That's a fact. And hey, by all means, that's fine with me. If that would have happened to me or does happen, that's fine. Clear me. Do whatever you need to do. These parents have shut down. Not the real dad. Oh my God, the real dad has been out searching every day. Every single.
And here we go. Here we go. Oh, you got a new members emoji again. Thank you, Duchess. Really? Really? This was March 7th. Nobody had been named a suspect. There wasn't an investigation besides the investigation into the disappearance of Sebastian. She's sped up, Diana. Chico.
Single day.
Chico, we talked about this last night.
Every day. There's no video. I can't understand that. Yeah, they're searching the Kentucky landfill. They say as a precaution. I don't know either. They say as a precaution.
Well, it makes sense. Doesn't it make sense? Anybody in here? It makes sense. A trash truck went through. Of course, you have a missing child and a trash picked up all of their trash. They're going to be looking for any type of anything from their trash, surrounding trash cans. It makes sense to me. That makes total sense why they would search. Maybe they had something specific. We don't know, but it makes complete sense why they would search the landfill.
But it makes no sense. None of this makes any sense. What may be of no importance to you, again, can be the piece to the puzzle that is very important to LE. So please, if you know something or heard anything or think you know anything, no matter how small, please, please, please turn it in. It just may save a boy's life and or help solve what is now a criminal case.
There you go. Misinformation. It was not a criminal case. She called days before this, recorded on the 4th of March. She called herself to law enforcement, recorded them. No, it was not a criminal investigation. No, nobody was named suspects. She knows. That's it. Kathy, I agree with you. Most of the time, I am the most self-deprecating. You guys know that. And they mock my looks. I might tell you guys about the shit they say, but I laugh about it. These are choices. You're right. These are absolute choices.
Hey, Bob.
Maybe you're born with it. Maybe it's made.
Well, that's the funny thing, Mama Bear. The mom stated he went out the front door, which I don't know how she knew he went out the front door, but whatever. I mean, whatever.
You can see, though, how this has quickly gone in her coverage from awareness to already what she thinks and targeted attacks. You can see March 7th.
She stated he went out the front door, but the front door was locked. How did the front door lock? I don't know. I don't know. That's questions that I can't answer. Was it locked? Does it automatically lock? I don't know. I don't have doors that automatically lock. You have to physically lock them. So would he turn around and lock the doors behind him? If he walked out, hey Jim, I'm sorry at first about that email. I was like, who is that? Yeah, and Mom said she saw him that morning. So I think that's why they shut down.
No, she did not say she saw him that morning.
Honestly, think that's why they shut down.
No, she's not.
It was good on one hand that they did what they did, but on the other hand, in my opinion, only they kind of screwed themselves. But it's not. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's kind of good. It got this investigation going, and then I think they remembered. Oh, that's just my opinion. In my opinion only. I can believe whatever I want to believe.
There's one sole button to lock a door with a keypad, usually.
Weezer said, oh my God, I had a bad feeling after first hearing about no video or hit by dogs. In my opinion, garage is the key. Yes, and y'all seen the picture of the garage, right? I posted on my community post, but somebody wanted me to see the garage is at the side of the house.
They already have people out there taking pictures of their home. Of course, media was in the neighborhood too.
It's a 3-car garage. It's a 3-car garage, but you can tell with the flowers in front of it, unless they've moved them, that they go in and out of 2-car garage. So, and the porch is way over here, and you have to go up steps. I didn't do the whole house, but I mean, I've got the pictures, but I didn't show y'all. I'm sure others might. But the porch, you have to go up a bunch of steps and go down. or down, either way. It's just kind of really, I don't know, man. I don't know. What you waving a red flag for, honey? What's going on, Bob? Okay, I was making a video. Okay, let me see what you're doing. Okay, I was making a video about the Whitakers in West Virginia, but I was shocked to see the thing about the landfill again. I know, Bob. I was too. I was like, whoa, wonder what put them in that direction. But I will have to say this.
I mean, come on now, people. Let's use common sense here.
Let me say this.
God.
I would like to know the footprints of the dad and the stepdad. I'm sorry, not the real dad, the stepdad. I would like to know in the prior days, when is the last time, and this is just me, I don't know, it might already be answered. When is the last time Sebastian, was seen a full day at school? Did he stay all day? Was he there a full day? Because sometime in the past, remember, he only went a couple of days a week. So is he now going 5 days a week?
Friday. The Friday before he went missing.
Yes, Bob, we sure did. And hey, I know. And or is he was he there Friday? Was he there full day? When is the last time besides the parents or the mom and the stepdad that somebody physically saw him? I know they're saying Costco. I know that. I know all that. I don't know if he was at school. That's what I'm asking. Was he at school on Friday?
They have him on video taking the trash out that night when they returned from Texas Roadhouse.
They got the Costco picture. So that was Saturday. Did anybody see him after that Costco picture? Neighbors, the stepdad said, well, he likes to stay in, but the neighbors know who he is. Well, did any neighbors see him Saturday after that? I'm just wondering. Because the one thing about Kentucky, depending on where the landfill is there, a lot of people just drive up the back roads there and get to Kentucky.
And this is where it turns from awareness, bringing awareness to a missing child, going off of what law enforcement says, and into, let's question everything about their story and pick it apart. And let's put holes in every little thing. None of this stuff is up for public consumption. It should be law enforcement, because they're trying to find a missing child. And if the child is in danger, they're not going to release all this publicly as is.
Just like that. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Oh.
And if you jump on the interstate, it's nothing. I can't explain to y'all how it's nothing. It is, in my opinion. So I don't know what put them in that direction.
If it's a fact, why are you saying in my opinion? She already knew what she was doing here. That's why she's starting the in my opinion shit.
That's odd to me. I have been screaming before I even really knew they had a garage, which I assume you have a $500,000 home, you're going to have a garage. But I looked into it. I mean, because I know exactly where it's at.
Have these people ever been out of their little fucking areas? A $500,000 home in some of these areas is just a very common house. Very common house. That is they have a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood. I'm not discounting that. But the fact of how they already went for the price of their home. What?
In my opinion, I was like, well, did they take him out of the garage in something? I mean, whether it be a vehicle or whatever, is that why they're not getting any sense, any footage, any video? And so I feel, in my opinion again, I feel whenever he went to work, I feel that that's an alibi, even if he had to be there. But to be on the phone with the mom 3 hours or a little bit more while you're at work, come on now. It's to the point where she's asleep on the couch. They need to check the phones and see, was that done all the time?
The phones were taken the first day and downloaded.
When he went to work, is that something normal? Because I don't call that normal at all for 1 second. I think that
I don't know how people instantly that started being ripped apart about how their phone call was abnormal of being on the phone for that long. If you've talked to Chris Proudfoot even one time, guaranteed you've been on the phone longer than 3 hours. And obviously it was normal for them. He worked out of town.
That was set up as an alibi. And Danny said it had that he wakes her up at midnight to take the dog out to bed. Right. She's on the phone. She falls asleep. And he's like, you need to wake up. But she didn't see anything wrong or anything wrong with the house or out of place or whatever. So she goes to bed. The next morning, she gets up around 6, something like that. Sebastian's not there. Her first thought, after she said she looked around, was not to call 911, but was to call her husband in Memphis and say, I can't find him. And y'all might say you might do that. But to me, that's not normal. First, I'm going to call 911. But second, after being on the outside looking in, if his father is in law enforcement.
Here we go with the what's normal versus not normal. What is normal? You don't live their lives.
I didn't call law enforcement. I needed help. I'm going to call whatever. Because remember on the interview, there was no problem. According to the stepdad, they were good buds. Good buds. They were such good friends. Yeah, Kim, that's what I just announced on here.
Ooh, she's still salty about that interview.
Kentucky landfill. They're searching Kentucky landfill. Yep, absolutely. Is Trev live? I didn't need to go live if he was live. I'm sorry, I didn't know he was live. This came out about 40-something minutes ago. I apologize. I love Trev. Y'all go over there and sub to Trev. He's doing a great job on this 24/7. Please. Mountain Melody, yeah, of course I am. I'm OG, you know him. And I was born and raised East Nashville. What you talking about? Am I reading between the lines? That's all we did. Sometimes we have to read between the lines and the talk and everything else. Yeah. Weezer said, I feel like when someone tells a story and they add little things that don't mean anything, they use it as a filter. Kind of like Granda's telling about peppermint candy. Sign of deception. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Kimberly, there.
And here we go with all of the signs of deception. You know, these people are armchair detectives. They use missing children in court documents to try and cover their own tracks of their own personal bullshit. But yeah, they're armchair detectives.
In Kentucky, they're telling the public right now it's just a precautionary measure. But what I'm saying is, what took them that way? What took them that way? Something had to take them that way. I mean, why not the Nashville landfill?
Ooh, CCC, I really like that. I like the sounds of that. The care. That's catchy. Combating attacks, rumors, and emotional exploitation.
Why not head towards Memphis? Why not Clarksville? What took them to the Kentucky landfill? Something don't smell right. Hey, Bonnie. Let's see. Bonnie said, the story is strange. No trace of him sent or video from anywhere. Mom called stepdad and
okay. Hypothetically speaking, you guys have seen all the interviews. Most of you that are in here right now have seen all of the interviews up to this point by media. If you're not looking at this in a nefarious light, like if you don't have that mindset of everything has a nefarious undertone, did you see anything problematic yet? Because I didn't, but I am not the type of person to look at these cases instantly of a missing child and go, oh, yep, somebody's at fault. Got to find somebody at fault for it. My first thing was the very first person I talked to about this case, I was like, I wonder what the kids were like at school. I wonder if he was being bullied. I wonder if he just had enough and took off. That's what I think with a 15-year-old. Tell me what you guys think. Were you already starting to pull it apart and try to find fault with somebody? Because I haven't. Seen what we've seen from media at this point in time, they're begging for awareness and people to find anything and everything that could indicate where Sebastian is, that he walked out. That's what I've gotten from media so far.
Did a 911 verse. Exactly. Hey, Darwood. Hello. Hawk. Hey. Exactly. Something's not right. Tell y'all something's not right. And this is if, it could be true, but he don't like to get dirty, which is something very normal. I know it doesn't matter if you're high functioning autism or not, but if he don't like to get dirty, he goes out of the house without his shoes. In my opinion, only again.
She knows exactly what she's doing here. And you can tell because she's using the, in my opinion, she knew exactly what she was setting up, because if you're being fact basis, you don't have to say, in my opinion, allegedly. If you are being fact basis and it's not an opinion, it's fact, and bringing awareness to a missing child, you don't have to do this. Casual, same. Now, I don't know if he met somebody on the other side, but I do believe he willingly walked out. Cause and effect, or where? Up in the air.
If he went out without his shoes, he's going to get his feet dirty, right? Not only is he going to get his feet dirty, he's going to step on things. It's nighttime. It's dark. It's just, to them, it's gross. They usually have sensory defensiveness, whatever. Yeah, the barefoot thing is suspicious. But here's the thing.
And that's not always true for every child either. There can be days that things that they normally have sensory issues with, and that's not for everybody either. Every individual case and child is different. Even kids that aren't on the spectrum can have sensory processing situations. You don't have to just be autistic or on the spectrum to have sensory issues. People can up and make choices. They can change things up. It might be uncomfortable, but they can, and that just depends on who it is. Yikes.
Okay, let's say he did walk out of the house and he went barefooted and he went out of the house. Let's say he did. I promise you, I promise you, he's not going to go very far, a door or two down, maybe. Ain't nobody ain't coming. You know, I ain't gonna say I ain't never knock on wood. Anything.
Oh, lip locked. That was something that was said tonight that really aggravated me. So it was said on Truce, and I don't exactly know how it was phrased. I can't quote it, but something about there would be a digital footprint if he was lured out by somebody. That is ignorance at its finest. That is ignorance to say that there absolutely would be a digital footprint. Alicia Navarro. I'm fucking her name up. I'm so sorry. Here in Arizona, she had communications with somebody. They knew she was communicating with somebody, but it didn't lead them to the person that she was communicating with and was ultimately found with 4 years later in Havre, Montana, when she walked into a police department.
Things possible, but he's gonna. Let's stay on track. He's gonna turn around and he's gonna go back home, probably, more than likely. He's not walking anywhere without his shoes. He don't like bugs. Yeah, he did not like bugs. Oh Lord, and that was a big one I can attest to with my son. No bugs, no go. No bugs, no go. No bugs, no anything that no bugs, no frogs, no oh God, and mosquitoes. They can't help but get on you. And there's a lot of there's water and stuff around, and it was raining, and no flies. There's horses and horseflies. They're gonna sting, but I don't know if any of you ever had a horsefly bite you. Shit up.
Oh, and they absolutely geofence that area right away. We know that because just from tonight's conversation with Chris, we know that.
So it don't add up. And you can say, the mom can say, or the stepdad can say, shoes are accounted for, in my opinion, but the cops are not going to know how many pair of shoes he got and if you're telling the truth or not. That's my opinion.
Well, that's true. But again, that might have just been his shoes are here. That might have just been his shoes are right here. So what?
Who's going to know that? But now, again, what took them to the Kentucky landfill? Why not the Nashville landfill? Why?
Liberty, 100%. If you've met one kid with autism, you've met one kid with autism. Every person or adult, every single person differs. Every single person differs.
Not why not towards Clarksville? Why not Memphis? Why not these other places? And they may be. Oh, and the flashlight, Kimberly, please.
Casual art. That is such a good statement about the chess. Him being so good at chess, absolutely. There is a lot of forethought that goes into that.
Flashlight. Well, he may have had a flashlight, but you heard it out of the mom's own mouth. The mom's own mouth stated that the LE asked her, so they provoked it. Not maybe knowingly, maybe they didn't knowingly or not knowingly. Police is good. So they said out of her own mouth, did he take anything, maybe like a flashlight or something? She took that and ran with it. She says he had a little flashlight, but we can't find it. The flashlight's gone.
Maybe she just stated what she knew to be the case of the flashlight was just gone. Maybe she just knew that.
So that's how it came out that he took the flashlight.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it does, SL. It depends on the level. It also depends. A lot of them have sensory defensiveness, which is a whole different thing. It goes along with it, but it's a whole different thing. It just really depends.
Enter autism experts.
Yeah. And I can understand he likes fishing with his real dad, but he's right there. He can wash his hands off in the water if they get sticky. They can't stand their hands sticky.
Again, speaking as if they can't stand their hands sticky. We don't know Sebastian. And he not only liked to fish with Seth, but he liked to fish with Chris and Katie too.
They are no longer talking. Do they have a lawyer? I don't know. They might after they search the landfill, after they find that information out. I don't know. People can say what they want to say, but we also know in other cases, I'll just leave it at that they were cooperating too. Until Ellie said they're no longer cooperating, right?
And here we go, comparing cases.
She said he was just playing with the flashlight the day before. But they're no longer talking. They backed out of an interview with Nick Barris, and I can only speculate that may be because they either realized that their stories did not match up with the cops, and they were slipping or looking all kind of crazy or something. I don't know.
Or maybe they were just exhausted already.
They did a short interview too on the news, and then you could see their face and body movements, and they realized all the stuff that they were getting from out here, which is fair. It's fair. Your child is missing. Hey, I question why he's 15 years old with autism, high functioning, and the mom, Katie Proudfoot, used to work for an alarm company. And I see a ADT sign in their yard, whether that's just from a long time ago. Okay, let's play this. Did they have an alarm? If they did, why was the alarm not on? But even if she no longer works there, people like when they work somewhere, they like to play with their gadgets. They like to get discounts. They like whatever.
There's a lot of people that don't want cameras in their homes. That's just something that they don't. Do you know that before cameras existed, there was families that had children on the spectrum in their homes, and they found other ways of monitoring things? Yes. Do I suggest it? Abso-fucking-lutely. But not all families want cameras or recording devices or alarms or anything like that. I personally have to have them because that's just my personality.
Did they not have alarms? Hey, that's a pretty much must for a child that has autism. I'll get to that, Darwolf.
By the way, they're already using his diagnosis. He was diagnosed in October of 2023, which we all know.
I'm starting to question that.
Absolutely, Kim. She started right away.
You can buy those little, just for anybody that you don't know, you can buy those little stick-on alarms. They are loud too. It goes on the windows and the doors if you open them, and then they're loud.
If you get the red box, you can get, it comes with 2 little window sensors and some stickers and other things that you can get for anybody that does have loved ones that you would like that for. It comes with 2 window. I showed that a long time ago because I got one. But it does have 2 window alarms.
Why would you not have precautions? You have 15 years, I'm sorry, to be cautious. I'm just saying. I feel that too, Dar. He's too controlling not to have cameras. He probably got cameras in the house. I'm just saying.
Already saying that Chris is controlling.
Everybody wants to know. That may be how he knew she was asleep, fell asleep on the phone with him, even when he wasn't talking. Or, because that is kind of dangerous, him running a crane, what do you think? And him on the... Or maybe he saw it on FaceTimes. He knew what Sebastian had on too. I don't know.
Oh my God. This is the 7th again for anybody just coming in. This is March 7th. Look at the narrative that's already explaining.
That's up to the cops. The cops know all that.
And we have no indication of any of this.
Yeah, and I would think that the parents know which shoes he had and how many he had and all that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can tell the cops, hey, he went out barefooted and none of his shoes are missing. The cops are just going to take your word for it because the cops can't prove how many shoes that the boy's got. They can't prove that. He may have shoes from 2 or 3 years ago lined up in his closet, right? Whether they fit him or they don't. He might have 2 or 3 different pair for, I don't know, church, for school, for extra activities. Yeah, cops only know what you tell them. When they find him, he may have shoes on and he may not. That's all I'm saying. They're only going on what the mother told him. And how would the stepdad know? He wasn't there, remember? Remember, he was 3 hours away.
Maybe he believes his wife.
Yeah, Chef, Apple's 97. I think alibis. That's what I think. That's just me, and I'm entitled to it.
Oh, it was all set up for alibis. Okay.
And y'all know me. I'm gonna have my opinion. I don't care who likes it.
Yeah, and this is where social media makes its impact on missing children's cases, and not a negative or not a positive manner, in a very negative manner. Here you go. This early on.
But I'm very concerned and I'm very passionate about this.
Oh.
You're talking about my stomping grounds now.
Oh.
And Sebastian, he is a part of their community.
Yeah.
Everybody wants him found.
No kidding.
They want him safe. But again, at this point, it's a wing and a prayer. Thank you, Taxi. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you, honey. Thank you for your support. Hey, Annabella, honey.
CCC, I think, well, first and foremost, anybody that knows me knows how I feel about psychics. I've done segments. There's over 80 psychic mediums, tarot card readers, spirit box sessions, dowsing rods. I've covered 75 in one stream. I think they are harmful. I think they're dangerous. I think if they're truly gifted and they are ethical, they should keep that to themselves. And if the family wants that information, give it to the family. If not, I think they are dangerous and exploitive and the worst form of grifters on this app.
W bunches. Annabella, they're searching a Kentucky landfill. I don't know why. They said they're doing it as a precaution, but I don't know. I don't know what got them in that direction now. I'm in Murray County and I find myself checking out all the kids at my grandson's baseball game. Yes, that's just what thank you for that. Thank you. And that's what I was just talking about yesterday. Yeah, Annabella. That's what I was just talking about yesterday. People in all other counties going to work, taking their kids to school. They are literally looking out everywhere to see if they see anything out of the ordinary. Nothing is too crazy. People's looking, they're hoping.
Well, yeah.
Thank you, Taxi. I'll always be like this. I will never change.
Oh,
I will never change.
great.
I'll never understand people. I want it all of my kids. I'll never change. I fight like this for my.
Yes, CCC. Sorry. And I'm just saying, like, the chat, I was surprised the chat didn't say something. They probably would have. But yeah, no, we have very strong opinions, most of us, about that because we've watched what they've done in this case all along. It has been truly one of the most disturbing forms of exploitation in these missing children's cases. They act like they can speak to the deceased. They act like they're talking to Sebastian, that he is deceased. They use other people like Beth Chapman to channel messages. Like, it's fucking grimy.
For anybody, I fought for Summer. Will continue. I will fight for them. I don't care if they're black, white, red, blue, green, disabled, not disabled. I don't care.
Reminds me.
For me, it ain't about money, fame, who's first, who's this, who's that. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not sure. Hold on a minute. Let me see.
Actually, that reminds me. How many of you remember when Reverend Donna Serafina did a reading on this and gave us her input? Do you guys remember that? You want me to remind you really quick because my notes are right here? So Reverend Donna Serafina told us that there would be a house or a cabin, maybe a ranch-style house, a garden box. There's some chimney smoke, the Smoky Mountains. Could be a 2-story, but slanted roof. Definitely a slanted roof. Middle class. Maplewood. Definitely Maplewood. But painted wood. Some sort of painted wood. Could be a ridge name. There is a stable or a small barn. Honeysuckle flower? Question mark. A mailbox on a curved road. Definitely on a curved road. House is potentially on the curb. Corn on the cob. Could be a man eating corn on the cob. Could be a cap on the tooth or a missing tooth. And of course, there was a 7 or 8-year-old brunette-haired girl with curly hair and ribbons in her hair. The little girl was a witness, according to Donna. And don't forget the Allen wrench. There was definitely an Allen wrench in her foreshadowing here. Dark green pickup. Don't forget the dark green pickup. And the name Steadfast. Could be a company, could be a business, could be something to do with woodworking. Could be something. The name just popped into her head. Oh, and don't forget Danny. Danny Boy. Danello. Oh, Danny Boy. You know, something of the sort. Donna in her reading was so spot on. It's, yeah. Sky could be the name. And the guy in her vision does woodworking. Some type of woodworking. Has wood, works with wood. There's wood around. Has touched wood. Something with wood. You know, spot on. Spot on. Back to this. Yeah, the Sylvia Brown stuff. Oh, gross. Her and others have done such terrible stuff. Hey, Pen.
I don't know if that's the one they're going to or not.
Yeah, Pen. I spoke on it in the beginning of this.
No, that can't be right. I'm not sure because that one says 3 hours. I know that one's not 3 hours. That can't be 3 hours.
generic readings that you can fit anything into and say, oh my God, I was right. So
Oh, hold on a minute. Let's see. Hold on a minute.
and be like, I told you I was right. I called that, just like she did in every other case that she's claimed.
If it's where they're, if it's the one in Madisonville, it just depends. It depends on where they're at. I'm not sure where they're talking about. Then it's an hour and 41 minutes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the one or not.
I have my notes on the dog handler.
Yeah, it could be in Hawkins County. It just depends on, I don't want to say where there's, you know, it could be Bowling Green. It could be anywhere. I don't have that information. Right, exactly, Annabella. Exactly.
Oh
and that's what everybody there is doing.
There's so many pages.
Let's see.
Hey, Catherine. The dog handler notes are amazing. Those were still my favorite streams that we did.
It's about an hour, give or take. Hey, Sassy Frass. Yeah, it's about an hour, give or take. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I just hope they have answers real soon. I don't know. They said, again, somebody was saying it in here a while ago, that the stepdad, and he did say that Sebastian didn't have any friends, so he asked for friends from Santa Claus and on his birthday or something to that effect. Well, that may have been true. It could have been true.
I mean, how much in this? Okay, again, this is March 7th. Awareness for a missing child. How much did you learn about the missing child here? Nothing. You learned about her opinions and thoughts on the family and what they did and didn't do, what they said, and her speculation. You barely learned anything about Sebastian, the missing child, at all. You can see how drastically and fast the narrative had already been laid.
Every picture that I've seen of him, he was very outgoing. You know, he's high functioning. You could tell that, and that's what's been said.
Oh, Miss Upper Thigh, what did you say? Oh, an actual documentarian. Oh, that I don't know about that. At this point, with all the psychic wackos, why not just use the magic 8-ball? Oh, Pen, you might be. I have one, and we have used it. Just so you know, we used it in the fake dog handler situation, and it was spot on. But I do have one in my office.
But in all, autism has different spectrums.
It's more.
But I think they need to re-talk to all the people at the school and the friends, and I'm sure they're going to. I think they're going backwards. However, I could tell. See, some of them don't like to be touched. I could tell he's very outgoing, and I'm sure he lights up a room. To me, he lights up a room when he goes in, and there's no doubt in my mind about that. And I bet you anything, I would be willing to bet you anything that Sebastian had friends at school. I bet I bet he probably could not. He did have a beautiful smile, and I bet he probably could not keep those friends away from him, honestly, because I bet he drew them to him. That's just my opinion. He might have been awkward, but I'm going to tell you something. I bet that he was so infectious, and I bet he drew people to him. And I remember the stepdad saying, at home, he's an in body, and he don't go out. He also said he is a strict stepdad or whatever he called himself. But he said the neighbors does know him, but he said he don't like to go out. So I'm wondering, well, I just sit back and think about it like this. If he did ask Santa Claus for friends, was he asking Santa Claus for friends for home? Because he was in the...
Oh, no, CCC, you didn't derail at all. That's just something that I talk about a lot about. I cover a lot of psychic mediums, spirit box, tarot card. No, you didn't derail at all. The chat totally knows exactly. Yeah, no, you 100% didn't derail. Carry on.
House all the time? That's what I'm wondering. So maybe it's a half truth and a half...
We're all just tuning Smiley out. That's what happens. I'm reading your guys' comments and agreeing with them in my head, trying to stay focused on this nitwit.
Like, I'm just saying. Yeah, Annabella. Yeah, because I bet you he had all kinds of friends. That's just my opinion.
Pen, Chasing sent me a picture back of my caramel reading the other day and pointed out a mom and a baby in the caramel. And God dang it, I can see what she's talking about. I was pissed at her.
Something else I saw here. Yeah, they're checking everywhere. I just want to know what got them to that direction. Again, it could have been Clarksville, where's dad's from. I say his dad anything to Memphis, anywhere through there.
Well, you're fine. Ask all the questions you want. Nothing to hide over here. We don't care.
Anywhere. What took them to the whole opposite direction to Kentucky? I'm just wondering.
Lisa, no, I have zoned out because we see what she's doing. In fact, let's just cut it. Let's just cut it short. I'm over it. So on the 7th, guess who else covers it on the 7th? You won't ever guess. You're never going to guess. Oh, probably going to guess. Look at this one. Oh, here he is. Look at that. Look at that face.
Riches investigates. I got some new information in the Sebastian Rogers case. Sebastian Rogers, the 15-year-old boy who has autism, went
Any of you that don't know, the creepy non-blinking guy is JLR.
missing sometime around the 25th and the 26th of February 2024.
No, by this time he was not in Tennessee outside of Landfill. He just went and found a local one in Florida.
Vanished around his Hendersonville, Tennessee home. He lived with his stepfather, Christopher Proudfoot, and his mother, Katie Proudfoot.
We all get what Smiley's doing. It's very intentionally obvious. She's making it obvious. She's making accusations. She's doing the, in my opinion, allegedly bullshit, painting narratives already on March 7th. This is where it all went south. And we saw what the news media had said about the landfill search and the interview from Chris and Katie on the 7th. Nothing nefarious, in my opinion. Standard procedures. Very smart to do in an investigation of a missing child.
But there's some new information, folks. Authorities are searching at a landfill. A landfill. Right now, they are looking for any signs of Sebastian. They actually have.
He might have been in like New Mexico or something at this time. He was traveling, if I remember correctly. He might not have been in Florida. I don't remember where he was, but he wasn't in Tennessee at this point.
Have a warrant to search a landfill. Now that
didn't go to Tennessee until the 21st of March.
Let's talk. What is going on here? Why would they search a landfill? Well, let's talk about it a minute. According to this report out, the search for Sebastian Rogers, a missing teen from Sumner County, took investigators to Kentucky, folks. Kentucky. Thursday morning, where they are reportedly searching a landfill. According to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the landfill in Kentucky is where trash went from Sebastian's neighborhood in the beach area.
Gosh, him and the dramatic looks.
Officials called the search of the landfill a precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions. The Kentucky State Police, folks, said detectives obtained a search warrant Thursday morning for a landfill located in Hopkins County in White Plains, Kentucky. There is no specific information that indicates evidence related to the search for Sebastian may be there, according to the sheriff's office. Thursday, which is today, March 7th, marked 1 week and 3 days since Sebastian was reported missing. He was reported missing.
Of course, it wasn't breaking for media. JLR. It was breaking when it was JLR. Sebastian Rogers, authorities search landfills. I mean, the news had already broke this information. Okay, JLR.
On the 26th of February, sparking a massive search. They searched all in the area.
Yes, she did. Casual. And people want to ignore it. And people are like, but this is what creators do. This is the problem. This is the problem with creators on social media.
Hendersonville, all the trees, the terrains, the outhouses, the sheds, the barns, everywhere. Community members on horseback, volunteers with the fire department there. The ground search, though, was scaled back just the other day as officials transition to an investigative stage in this case. Who is under investigation? What got authorities to do a search warrant at a landfill? Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good.
And here we go once again.
I have some questions about the search of a landfill. Do they feel because Sebastian was not seen at all on any surveillance outside his home, or no scent found him? Do they feel
no scent found him? There was a scent, but it didn't lead to Sebastian.
Like he left a home. Basically, someone took him out of the home, not Sebastian leaving out on his own. And if that's the case, you got trash, you got the garage, right? You got a garage in the house where vehicles are in that house.
Well, yeah, they're going to look in every possibility. It looks like he's at a junkyard, not even a landfill.
Now I got a question. When was the trash? When does the trash normally get picked up at Sebastian's home? Was it Monday morning? Does the trash man come to
Yes, at 5:12.
pick up the trash early Monday morning?
Yes.
Or is it Tuesday or Thursday or Wednesday? When does the trash get picked up at Sebastian's home? And it's interesting because what if the trash got picked up Monday morning on the 26th? And right
It did.
after the trash gets picked up, mother calls to report that Sebastian is missing. Very, very interesting with that aspect, because
it was a little over an hour later, about an hour and 21 minutes.
First couple days, police didn't say anything about any suspects. They were going on the assumption that Sebastian walked out of that house and was in the woods.
They were still going on the assumption that he walked out of the home at this point in time on March 7th. But because the landfill was being searched, because the trash was picked up that morning, here comes social media injecting their opinions. Now, don't forget, by this time, he had already renamed one of his pre-existing Facebook groups, The Mysterious Disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, and he had already covered it.
Playing his favorite music in the woods, trying to lure him out. But now, it seems like now they're trying to look at other things. Warrants. Will more warrants come on any people that were in that house at the time? The father claims, the stepfather, and we're talking about Christopher Bravo, he's the stepfather. Sebastian has a biological father that is supposedly works in law enforcement and lives 70 miles away. Most people think the real biological father would have nothing to do with this if it's a criminal investigation. But let's talk about the stepfather, because the stepfather claims that he was working 3.5 hours away when the mother woke up in the morning, allegedly, and discovered Sebastian missing, right? The mother called the father. It was 3.5 hours away. So in order for the
Snowflakes, if he's got one available, he's done it a few times in the past. He's got pre-made groups that he just switches around. Yes, that is kind of a him thing with his long trolling.
Father to get to work in Memphis, he said he was in Memphis 3.5 hours away. He would have had to leave sometime in the middle of the night when it's dark, or maybe the day before Sunday. Interesting too that authorities are asking for surveillance footage around that house and neighborhood on Sunday, the 25th.
No, it's not interesting. Again, that is not interesting in any way, shape, or form. Think about this for a moment. If for some reason he had been in communication with somebody, they might be thinking, well, did somebody come visit before? Did somebody come scope out the neighborhood? Did somebody, like, these are common procedures, very common lines of thinking. Like, these people claim to be investigators, but they have zero common sense. Getting footage from a week in advance to see if anybody had been scoping out the neighborhood, any familiar cars that had been coming and going that didn't belong there, any weird movements, any type of activity. Like, these are commonplace things in investigations, even if they are going on the assumption that he walked out, because anything was on the table. So they're going to do, like, this is insane to me.
Makes me wonder when exactly Sebastian disappeared. Did he disappear on Saturday, the 24th?
No.
I'm thinking the 25th.
Nope. Once again, this is where a lot of people started saying the 25th. And we know from law enforcement, he was missing the 26th.
I'm thinking the 25th. And I think authorities.
And if law enforcement is narrowing it down to that time frame, they obviously are consistent, and especially issuing an Amber Alert, that their time frame is at least within that window.
I think the 25th. I'm not so sure the trash goes out on the 25th Sunday. Does trash go out on the Sunday? Does anyone know if the trash goes out on Sunday? Usually it's on a weekday. Maybe they're doing this to eliminate because they're stuck. They don't have any clues here. Maybe the mother and father cooperated, or the stepfather and the mother and the biological father cooperated fully with the law.
And that's what we know happened.
Gave up their phones.
And we know that that's what happened.
But I didn't see the stepfather or the mother searching anywhere.
Because law enforcement told them all not to go searching. But we know that Chris went with law enforcement. And we know that Seth and Chris went together again. And we know that there was video footage of Katie going to the school and going, but law enforcement asked people not to. They didn't even want volunteers or, okay, we know this.
For Sebastian, I didn't see them, any pictures or flyers of them going door to door with flyers of Sebastian.
This is pushing the envelope and making it dramatic. poking holes in, well, this could be a possibility and this could be a possibility, and they're not doing this and they're not doing, even though at this point in time, he didn't have eyes on them yet. So how would he know what they were doing?
Pleading really for the public to help. They only spoke out for the first time a few days ago, about a week into the search.
So they spoke out on the 3rd. Seth spoke out on the 4th.
So if you have any information about 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, contact authorities, contact TBI at 1-800-TBI. I wanted to break that information. Maybe they'll find something. Hopefully this doesn't turn into like a Quentin Simon type of thing, right?
And there we go. Once again, in lane and comparing cases that people are emotionally attached to and had horrific outcomes. Oh,
Leilani Simon out there in Savannah, Georgia. Poor Quentin was put in the trash and found in the dumpster. Hopefully this doesn't turn into that case. I am paying attention, and so should you, and keep Sebastian's name out there. I am JLR Investigates. Sub to the channel, hit the notification button. And we've been covering this, praying for the community up there and all the volunteers that are out there looking for this young man, praying for their safety too. So we'll talk soon. JLR Investigates. Stay safe.
Thumbs up, friends. Thumbs up. This was by the 7th. You can see the huge dramatic narrative switch between Pascal, Smiley. You can see how dramatic it had gotten. JLR, I mean. And then, unfortunately, there's another creator that covered it on the 7th. And her name is Cluminati. So this is the 7th of March. We've also seen her coverage up until this point, and she was one of the first ones to bring a lot of the narrative and rumors from Facebook groups to social media. Let me find where it starts. This is all under fair use. This is just to show how creators and social media invested themselves in these cases. And good night, Lisbeth. This is to show exactly the change in the narrative and the spinning of how all of this went. We're not going to listen to this whole thing. It's almost 4 hours, but you'll get a pretty interesting take. So Sebastian Rogers, out of state.
Freaking record, and was looking at it on the phone. And I really have just been like, you know what? I'm more worried about cleaning my house and cover.
Let me back it up a little bit.
So
you can like
which
her all
really
you want.
sucks because I got some inside info on.
Again, you can like these creators. You can have your opinions of these people, but the facts are the facts and the timeline is the timeline. These are the creators that involved themselves in the case and started to cover it as true crime. Feel free to have your opinions, but these are their own statements, their own words, and how it all went.
Sebastian the other day, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put it out because I kind of feel like it is, like I said, second, third, fourth hand or whatever. And I'm like, there's going to come a day where it could be wrong. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me hold tight, relax, just whatever, see what goes on naturally. And the freaking inside information could be right. Damn it. So the tip I got the other day was that now they are concerned about him being out of state, and they are digging a little hard into the stepfather's record. Okay. His past, or more.
And social media was digging into his past. Law enforcement was doing what law enforcement does, investigating all possibilities, all angles. But of course, that's not what we have here.
Like his situation with his current child custody. I said custody. His current child custody situation, which this is why you screenshot everything that you see, because it pisses me off. I had the freaking record and was looking at it on the phone, and I really have just been like, you know what? I'm more worried about cleaning my house and vacuuming and dusting and doing all the woman shit that I didn't screenshot it. But there was some stuff on there.
Okay, hold up. Why did Truth just private his live stream? Why did he just private that live stream? Did he say why at the end of it? I'm sure some of you watched to the end of it. Did he say why he was privating that live stream? When he privated it, my screen recording stopped. He was getting sniped. So that's why he privated it? Oh, Justin and BJ were streaming it? Huh. 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 Interesting. Well,
That was a little.
they gave them fodder. They definitely gave them fodder. So there's that. Anyways, I'm not even going back into my feelings on that because I'm just disgusted. And I'm glad I'm not. I'm glad I didn't watch the rest of it, truthfully.
Concerning to me.
Because nothing that was said is Chris answering questions isn't, I don't need to know any information. I'm not going to be a part of bringing Sebastian home. They don't owe us anything. That's where I stand, and I'll continue to stand.
It doesn't mean anything necessarily nefarious. However, it's almost like if I know someone who has robbed a bank before and they ask me to drive them to the bank, am I going to be like, oh, are you about to knock this thing over? Or do you just need to withdraw some cash? You know what I'm saying? Of course, in my mind, I'm going to be asking, are you about to knock this thing over? Like, that's where my mind immediately is going to go. So when you see things like what was in his record, you do start to question it. Now, I'm going to pull up this article for y'all. Well, first, I'm going to show you something that's concerning that I found the other day. Okay. And I started going down this whole like road of.
Oh, don't give two shits. Oh, that. I'm sure he is at his breaking point and beyond. Like, I can't imagine how they're handling this. I cannot imagine. And to watch how that was done. Oh my God. Oh, Chris shared his favorite. See, that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. I can't even imagine what they're feeling or thinking coming into this Christmas holiday season. Like, and this is going to be drug apart and torn apart and manipulated and fodder for the next past Christmas, unfortunately, because nothing they say or do is ever going to be enough for these people. And truly, these people are owed nothing. None of us are. We're not investigators. True crime needs to find its place and stay the fuck in it. We're only on March 7th, and look at the shit we've seen already done to this family based off of rumors and speculations, not following the facts, not even remotely close to following the facts. We've already divide and conquer. We've already set teams here. We've already said, well, the real dad, he cares. Well, the stepdad, they're digging into this guy, digging into his background, and there's a custody issue with another child. And
oh, okay, so that could mean something. But I want you guys to just look at this map right here with me, right here. I'm going to zoom in. So this is Stafford Court, okay? Trying to find, huh?
Down, go down with your mouse. No.
I'm fucking
I was like,
pissed. I'm fucking pissed.
So right here would be his house, okay? So just get the lay of the whatever, right? It would be this one? I didn't think it was that soon after we turned in.
I might be wrong.
I don't think that's right, y'all. But anyway, it almost looks like it's that one. Irregardless, this is his street, okay? Now, what's crazy?
Lolly, I'm glad that it ended in that direction. I truly am glad that it ended in that direction. But unfortunately, no matter, even if it was genuine and all of us can see it being genuine, you will see that other people don't give a shit. No matter how much emotion, how genuine they are. I've seen nothing. Like, we're on March 7th in this timeline of how things went, and I've seen nothing but genuine care and concern for their missing child from any of them at this point. And we've already seen how they've twisted things already. Smiley, JLR is amping it up. He's not getting there all the way, but he's pushing it. Pascal is digging and pushing and trying to start from narratives. Not that Lolly. No, Lolly's Bird Barn. Oh, yeah. They're as soon as Chris took that link, as soon as Chris took the link to defend himself and set the narrative straight of what truly happened. Yeah, no, you guys, this isn't the Lolly. Yeah, sorry. There's just nothing. There's nothing that they can do correctly. You guys, we are 6 days away from Christmas. And I really encourage you, if you're coming in late, go back to the beginning of this and watch. You will see the drastic, like this whole series, you see exactly how social media, quote unquote, true crime creators, true grime creators, instantly insert themselves in these cases and become a part of the narratives that are spun on these families. It is not out of care and concern and for bringing awareness. It is to seek and destroy these families. fucking sick. But I'm sorry, I'm reading some of your comments. Yeah. Oh, you guys. Oh, I got my opinions. I spoke on my opinions in the beginning of this and if you're just coming in because you guys, I don't know where you came from, but if you would like to join in the what we are trying to do in the beginning of this, I asked everybody to share one thing positive that they learned about Sebastian over the last 9 months. Something that you've learned about Sebastian. His infectious grin, his favorite color is green. He loves animals. He especially loves cats. His favorite music, Taylor Swift, all of those things. If you want to do that in the comment section, please feel free. I asked everybody in the beginning of this. We talked a little bit about that. We talked about how destructive these cases are. And crazy. No, if it's a privated video, members can't even watch it. Okay, carrying on. So Clue is the final creator that we're going to highlight from the 7th. Now, there might have been some other creators, like some smaller channels, but these are the main narrative pushing channels. There might have been some ones that covered it earlier on. I know that Trevor Lee covered this extensively, but all of his videos pretty much have been removed. And his posts, I mean, he's got some of his posts up and stuff, but we're hitting the biggest narrative creating people.
Crazy is if we come and we just zoom out, if you look literally right across that highway, it is a bit of a drive, but there is a registered offender right here. And it's this guy, okay? And of course, when we look at his charges, violence against children, and his offenses are attempted sexual battery under 13, attempted aggravated sexual battery, attempted aggravated sexual battery, attempted aggravated sexual battery, and probation violation. Now, if we look at the years, it was a while ago, but it is something that I look at and I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're truly just like a hop, skip, and jump away. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it is, obviously.
Okay, I love the fact that it sounds like they dialed it back in and learned stuff about Sebastian. That I do love. That they were able to dial it back in and do something positive with that. That I'm glad to hear, because unfortunately, that has not happened.
I think the police would probably go and talk to these people first. You would hope they would. That's their job. These people are obviously registered. But the one thing I will say that is a little crazy about this guy is his address updates. And I want to say, yeah, he literally registered, which means changing his address 3 months ago. Okay.
So here they are digging into sex offenders, which, I mean, the registration is public knowledge. And the one cool thing was that law enforcement, I did this in the beginning of the case too. I went and showed this publicly. You can go back and see. I went and showed how law enforcement put eyes on all of the registered sex offenders in the area and updated their statuses and stuff. But this is interesting to see because how they got to this one person is a little weird to me. But at the end, I remember the source and the pushes of like, oh, the guy in Illinois that was being transported back, like how all of those things got inlaid. Clue was behind a lot of that.
Caroline, I don't know about his preference, right? It doesn't give me anything. I'm sure I could maybe find the record. But after what I saw today, I'm not mainly concerned with that. By the way, Caroline, welcome to the Clue crew. So we've got here this guy, right? And there is another one right here. Yeah, y'all can see that. So, and his is kind of along the same lines, except for like it was at work. I think it was like unattended touching or something, advances. Let me just pull it up. Hold on.
I don't think it had anything to do with work. It was somebody he was in the care of.
Yeah, so
he had care of, I should say.
Well, it's sexual, obviously, and it's okay. So by an authority figure. Yeah. So obviously, this is probably a child or something, maybe.
Okay, so we know obviously that wasn't the case. So let's go further.
And again, I've seen the news do that, right? Like I've heard interviews with people, and then the news comes along, and it don't match what I just saw the people say. I'm missing around 8 a.m. by an authority figure. So he disappeared.
Hold on, let me get to this where this ends. Sorry.
We're trash from.
Right.
They don't have to classify it that way anyway. But the interesting news today. That's kind of big for y'all, ain't it?
Casey, I'm sure he is. I'm sure they have been the entire
Hendersonville,
time.
Tennessee. Investigators with Sumner County Sheriff's Office are searching a landfill in Kentucky where trash from missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers' neighborhood went. So I do want to say this. I already knew that his trash had been picked up and ran on Monday before.
In the comment section on our screen, you can see people are already saying child custody was an issue for me too. Honestly, I think the stepdad arranged to have what he considers a difficult child. That never works in family dynamics. Somebody else says, after seeing the mom and stepdad's interview, not buying their story. You can see, like, between creators and the subs, they were already in attack mode. Oh, Lolly, that's great to hear. Truly great. That he always speaks. If you think about Chris's interviews, I'm sorry, I got to give credit where credit is due. Chris always has something kind to say about Seth and always asks people to give Seth a break. Even with the destruction that that man has caused, he always does it. I don't have that in me. I wouldn't have that in me. But Chris always does. He always asks for people to give him grace. He always includes him. The three of us want him home. The three of us he loves his son. Like, that is something that is consistent all the way through everything Chris speaks about. You don't have to like the man to acknowledge and give this man props for what he actually says. Y'all are judging these people on their worst fucking moments in life. I hope many of you who judge these families with no proof, I hope you never have to be in their shoes.
Before 911 was called, okay? Officials stated that there is no specific information that indicates evidence related to the search for Sebastian may be there. They said the search is...
JC, respectfully, I did hear him ask for the bashing to stop. I'm not a huge, I will comment on Seth's own words and stuff and say what I feel about it because it is what it is. It's the facts. But I don't go out of my way to paint narratives about any of them because I truly don't believe any of the three of them have anything to do with it. But as far as me, and I can only speak for me, I will continue to bash the fuck out of the creators who do this to families and families and families and families because unfortunately, Sebastian's family is not the first case that any of the ones that we have watched thus far has been involved in painting narratives about. Clue here had a huge hand in going after the roommates in the Idaho floor case. All of these creators that we have talked about up to March 7th have had a hand in painting narratives against other families, the Wells family, many different families. So I will continue to bash the absolute fuck out of the creators and pull their narrative and show you what really is masked in this true crime sector. By the way, this is not true crime. As we all know, it is not fucking true crime. And I'm also we're going to get to the point where I show you how PIs cold call families and insert themselves. It's a little grimy. You can like these people again, but what's being done is being done. They use Facebook groups to go prey on these families, offer their services, and then they turn around and here we are.
Is a precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions. It's been 11 days now since the 15-year-old disappeared from his Hendersonville home. The search for Sebastian Rogers.
The ones, Angel, I don't even know what to name that sector anymore. It's an embarrassment to real true crime creators. It is not reflective of true crime. So, but as soon as you say they're not true crime, they're like, you're just jealous that we're true crime. You don't identify as true. No, fuck no, I'm not. No, I would never want to sit with you people. I would never want to sit with any of those people. True crime, the real true crime creators like Duty Ron would never do this shit. I mentioned him in the beginning. He would never have done what happened to Chris tonight. That would have never happened on Duty Ron's channel ever. Sorry, never. Wouldn't have happened because true crime has ethics and morals and they're about victim advocacy first and foremost before anything else. And dignity for the victims. That will never happen. Whatever this little segment is, the scum of the scum, I don't know what we call it, but it's definitely not true crime. True crime, I guess. And by the way, no, I don't identify with that community either. We built an island and I'm an asshole. There you go.
continues in the neighborhood where he disappeared, and part of that now includes tracking down and tracking garbage. Oh. See, I hate crap like this, okay? I feel like if I ever had a news site, news, whatever, I would not do things like this, because this said his mother reported him missing around 8 a.m. That's something that bothers me.
Did not report him at 8 a.m. He was reported missing at 6:33 a.m. This is why sourcing is important.
Because that goes in direct opposition to what the stepdad said. The stepdad said that he called 911. So,
the source of your information.
And by the way, I will say, matching the voices to the newest interview I saw where I could see them on the television, I do believe that was them on that podcast that we sort of halfway watched. And there's also some things in that interview that were like a little weird to me. But
speaking of Duchess's interview.
Well, here's the other problem with that, right? The 8 a.m. That doesn't line up.
And you can barely hear Cletus in the background.
Because they said they called around 6, right? She woke up, went to wake him up at 6 or whatever she said, and then 3 minutes later
she knew he was missing.
Called the dad or the stepdad,
right?
And then they called 911.
So, about 10 minutes is what they said, right?
So something's wrong, right? Either this is wrong or what they're saying is wrong, and that's the problem with news articles. Like
the article is wrong.
That's right.
If you actually use legit sources like the local media, the timeline didn't change in any of the interviews that we've seen. Not any of it did it change.
People have got to vet this stuff before they put it out, because I mean this indicates a whole different scenario.
People got to vet this stuff. Yeah, like creators that are using it as sources of their content.
And again, I've seen the news do that, right? Like I've heard interviews with people, and then the news comes along and it don't match what I just saw the people say out of their own mouths. Yeah. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. But this said his mother reported him missing around 8 a.m. Since then, there's been a massive search effort from the air and on the ground. It's safe to say crews have searched just about everywhere for the autistic teen in a 5-mile radius of the home and have found nothing. And they literally all have found nothing.
Aaron, that would be amazing if they would be interested. If I don't know if the family, I doubt he's in here. I highly doubt he's watching. There's so many other things that they could watch. I am not usually one that most of them watch like that. But there is somebody in here that I know can get that message to them. So I will remind her tomorrow. And if that would be amazing, national news source. If you have access to that, that would be incredible to do. And could you also put a bug in the producer's ear at 2020 to cover the exploitation? She heard me. She's here. Could you talk to your producer friend about doing a segment on the exploitation being masked as true crime when awareness becomes exploitation, and the dangers and the harm that these creators and social media is doing as a whole to these families? That would be amazing, because we really need some national media attention on the epidemic that this is becoming.
The stepdad was in fact working out of town, but here's the problem with it. Okay. We don't know when he went out of town. Does that make sense? Because it is weird to me that the dad says that the mom and the boy, is what he says, were at Costco on Saturday and BJ's on Sunday. There's no mention of him being anywhere over the weekend. Now, he does say that on Sunday, while they were on the phone, he was at work, right? And he is a tower crane operator. And
Missy, one thing I will apologize in advance for. A lot of people have a hard time with my replays. I do not ever, just so you guys, if you're new here, I never turn on ads during my live streams. My live streams are always guaranteed to be ad free. I do turn my monetization on after my stream ends. And that is solely to attempt to get it into the algorithm, because we are going back and showing the bigger picture of what social media and the impact that it has on these cases. And we're using Sebastian's case because it's current to do so. But unfortunately, his case is just one of many that this happens to. But you can always be guaranteed that during a live stream, you will never have ads. Now, afterwards, I have gotten a lot of complaints about how many ads are inlaid. I know if you have YouTube Premium, you don't see ads. I don't even know. But we don't have control over where they're put in the live streams. So that is a problem, and I apologize in advance for that. But if you catch a live stream, you'll never get ads during it unless it's a YouTube thing, which I don't think they do that during my live streams. But afterwards, they do. I do turn monetization on just to try to get them in that algorithm. So I apologize for that.
He's working on the St. Jude's project out in Memphis. It is possible that those crews had to work on the weekend, but I just wish he would have clarified, because it's funny he doesn't say I was driving to work. He states I was at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the other part of it was the girl that interviewed them, a Duchess or something. She said, so you had told me earlier, she's talking to the mom. She says that you went to bed at 10 o'clock.
I honestly hope, Duchess, that they do only speak to national media. That would be the smartest decision ever. With an advocate. I wish that all three of them could sit with an advocate, all three of them, and do an interview. Truly, get rid of everybody else. Get rid of the national spokesperson, the stupid at-night intelligence agency. I wish that all three of them could have a mediator of actual true victims advocacy group that stood in for all three of them, and they could only go on national news for attention for Sebastian. I really wish that was the case.
Don't take 1 second. And she says yes. Well, then the stepdad comes in and he goes into this thing about there's a piece missing, just so we're clear and transparency. What do you say? We were on the phone from 9:43 or 9:46 or something.
No, Aaron, you're speaking to the right person. You are perfect, right person. Duchess is amazing. Duchess is all about awareness. That's our Duchess.
Something that has been verified by law enforcement. So immediately in my mind, I'm like, well, how in the fuck was you asleep at 10 o'clock then?
Yeah.
That don't make no sense. But anyway.
See, and they're already starting to pick their stories apart. You hear how this is going? Again, this is March 7th that they're already pulling their stories apart. Again, this is not advocacy for or awareness for missing. This is called what true crime does. Now, we don't even know if there was a crime committed here. A teenager could have walked out on his own free will. There is other possibilities, but this was already being done by the 2nd and 3rd of March. Facebook groups had already started on the 27th. He went missing on the 26th. Like, just gross.
Tomboy Charm, welcome to the Clue Crew. I did see what you were saying. You made something, Tomboy, for us. I know I went back up on the message.
Holy shit, fucking smileys in her comment section.
But when did he leave and why was he on the phone? Now, I will say this, like, if your man works out of town, fiance had to do that one time when we were together, and it was like he and I would talk 24/7, right? Like, and especially if we weren't talking during the day.
Katie spoke on Katie spoke on Duchesses and Queen Bees.
The minute he got back to like the hotel room or something, we would get on the phone, and yes, we would talk for hours. So that is not strange to me. It's not weird to me that they talk. It almost makes me feel like there's one of two things. Either he was talking to her from like his hotel room, wherever they were staying, Airbnb, whatever, probably a hotel room, or they
RV
were working that night. Maybe. I doubt that, considering he was at work at 6 a.m. in the morning, but it could be.
Yeah, I mean,
he could have been third shift.
Yeah.
Or he was talking to her on the phone while he was driving from Hendersonville to Memphis.
Or he was in his RV, like we know.
It is about 3 hours, right? So the time frame works out if he left at, say, like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I spy for the FBI. I'm pretty sure his Facebook group wasn't the first one up on this 27th. That was the private locals group that was advertised as Seth's close-knit group, which was his sister and some other locals. Bullshit Bobby, Karen. That was the group on the 27th, the private Facebook group. JLR's group got the name switch, I think, on March 6th. And then they started promoting it. It'll come up in the timeline over the next few days.
So one aspect they did not search is the garbage. I find that just to be craziness. As much as I've raved on them up here and how well they did, I gotta say that disappoints me a little bit, almost a lot, because if it was like a baby, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the other side of it is, I think, like, it's so crazy to sit here and cover this case, and it's literally in the same county. So you kind of sit and go, well, true to the people that are typically living here, you guys really didn't suspect foul play in the beginning, which there was no need to search the trash because you guys truly believe that this kid just walked off. So,
well, and I mean, here's the other side of it too, right? Let's say worst case scenario, that is what happened. He was in the trash and he was picked up between 5 and 6 and hauled to Kentucky. Them searching the way that they did, is probably still the smartest without knowing exactly what happened, because
he's really hard to hear, but he's putting stuff in there too. And people in the comment section, you can already see it. We can already see it. You guys see how this is going? Does anybody have questions what we're doing or what we're talking about right quick? You guys, we probably are only going to get through the 7th because we're already 2.5 hours in and we have not gotten through the 7th. But I think people are getting a very good example. I would hope that I'm not having to tell you guys. I can show you how this switched right before your eyes. Like, I can show you. I'm going to listen to this a little bit more, but if you have questions, let me know of what we're doing and what we're talking about and why we're going back to the beginning. We're not going back to the beginning to pick apart the parents' interviews. That is not the intent at all. I do not think that the parents have anything to do with any of this. Hey, Linky, it is more common to see this narrative, quote unquote, the playbook being rolled out by creators on social media, Dexter, than anything else. Yeah, everybody says, if I go missing, please do not come to social media. No. At this point in time, if I go missing, let me stay missing, please and thank you. And Kyle definitely didn't do it. It was Dexter.
There's no good outcome with that being the situation, right? There's no chance of finding him alive if he was hauled off. So for them to do what they did, I can understand that.
That's true.
Now, if they find him in that landfill, then yeah, that's I don't know. I don't even want to think about that right now. Having a few days off from all this kid stuff has been kind of nice, and I don't want to jump right back into the mindset of something bad like that has happened to this boy. But I mean, it's hard not to see that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it does kind of make sense, right? With the time frame that they gave, sometime between 12 and 6, and all this, right? It's hard not to jump there with it. Now that all of a sudden, out of the blue, 4 days after you guys turned the search into an investigate, or more toward the investigation aspect, and now all of a sudden you're in Kentucky at a landfill.
I think another thing I'm going to do is reach out to a lot of these organizations or foundations that do help with the missing. And I'm going to write up a digital copy of this quote unquote social media playbook and how they go about it. So if they can add it to their lists of warnings for families of missing when they are looking for help to bring awareness, that this is a warning that they can use, that they understand that this is a playbook that creators go by. Yeah. Right. Trucker, if I go missing, it's voluntary for sure. And even if it's not, let them think that.
It just happens to be the landfill where his trash is taken.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard not to see. Y'all have probably a pretty good reason to look there.
Oh no, Caroline from Hendersonville.
Oh yeah, y'all, when I say that Duchess and I have been doing work, we have been brainstorming and talking about this nonstop. Like, we have been brainstorming about all sorts of things that we can do and help with, and what we can actually, like, what's tangible right off the bat, like awareness for things. I'm going to reach out to Chasing and ask for her input. If you want to be a part of like all of this and have ideas and things that you can help us with, let me know. We're not going to start until after holidays because I just got too much going on and everybody else does too. But 2025 is going to be the year of action. We are going to make these things become real. We are going to make these voices be heard. Because it's not just Sebastian's family, it's all of the other families and the victims that are being done like this by social media and creators. Oh, and by the way, for those of you just joining, one other thing. I'm like filling y'all in. Islander merch will go into effect for charity after the start of the year. Our first Islander shirt will say something to the effect on the front. It'll say "Isolated by Choice," courtesy of our beautiful Terry Dean. And on the back, it'll have a saying that says, "Together for a mission, together for a cause, together," something like that. So it'll be "Isolated by Choice" and "Together for Purpose, Reason, Mission," something like that. And all of the proceeds will go to a charity of our choice. So the Islanders will help pick a charity for the proceeds. So our merch will be directly benefiting a charity. And Duchess already has hers up. So please go check out her links. She is doing the same thing. And Chasing also does all of her merch, goes to all of the proceeds, go to charity. So Chasing, Duchess, and I all will have merch that the proceeds go directly to a charity of something. And the back is courtesy of the beautiful Revival. So between Terry and Revival, that is our new, we will get the details of exactly how it looks and layout and everything like that. But that will be our first shirt for charity in the Islander merch line.
Hendersonville to Memphis is about 3.5 hours, depending on like what time of day you go. You know what I mean? But I just find it crazy that there's never any mention of him being home during the weekend. And he doesn't say, like, we talked on the phone while I was driving. It's always been, you were at work, you weren't here. And yes, that landfill in Kentucky is where the trash from his neighborhood goes. It says, well.
And another thing coming up after the first of the year, I have my 42nd birthday is coming up in the beginning of January. So we will be doing another birthday celebration stream for charity. And we will be doing the Black and Missing Foundation, and that will be our charity for the next Islander fundraiser. So it will be a birthday celebration for charity for my 42nd birthday coming up in the beginning of January. Just so you guys are aware when the next fundraiser will be.
So that is why, okay, but one aspect they did not search is the garbage. That is why Sumner County deputies and Kentucky State Police are searching a landfill in White Plains, Kentucky. Why there? Well, News Channel 5 has learned that trash in the Stafford Court neighborhood is picked up every Monday between 5 and 6 a.m. And it was sent to
Lanky, thank you so much for the support. We could do, Lanky, we could do a Be a Cantonio merch. Be like Cantonio.
There we go.
Instead of don't be a Cantonio, we could be a Cantonio, because Cantonio stands up for women, children, and all the things. Bobby, did you flirt with any women today at Walmart? Just wondering. I might have to do an auction of Bobby. I'm just joking.
to that landfill.
I gotta look where exactly that.
Thank you again, Linky.
So all the trash from the neighborhood dumpsters, including the trash bin at Sebastian's home, was picked up and gone before the teen was even reported missing. Officers are digging through trash at the landfill looking for any clues. They don't know what they'll find, but say the search is part of leaving no stone unturned. There's the possibility some evidence was disposed of in the trash. In the meantime,
see, look at the article she's going to. Look at the article she's going to. Of all the news media articles, tell me that that's not intentional. Tell me that was not intentional, an intentional choice. Again, you could like Clue. You could support Clue, but this is intentional situations. Of all of the vetted media, she goes to this source and listen to what is put in there about this. Like, it's just mind-blowing. Pen, I have not checked. I've not checked.
Authorities were back at the family house on Thursday in the backyard, appearing to take photos.
Aaron, thank you.
What's weird about that landfill, like, it just seems odd to me that their trash is taken that far. The trash from that house goes that far, because it's further than I thought. It's literally like 2.5 hours from here. It's a long way.
It doesn't surprise me just because I don't know of any landfills around here.
Well, but the irony of the situation and something that brings question into my mind, they would literally have to drive right past the biological father's town. They would have to go through Clarksville into Hopkinsville, and then White Plains is north of Hopkinsville. And it's like, considering this has got the time frame wrong, the time of when they called, or when he was reported missing, I'm wondering if it's possible that they've, you know what I mean? I'm wondering if, I don't know, my mind's just racing with questions about it, because
that is a damn good question, Caroline. Why didn't they have their trash out a week later when we drove by there? Because remember, I was like, there's a bin out, right? We went back through the video. Yeah. And Sarge was arguing with me saying that people would keep their cans or bins in the garage. And I'm like, no, they probably wouldn't.
There were some, remember?
That were out on the street.
Just not theirs. And a lot of the people on that street hadn't pulled them out yet. Of course, we went fairly early in the afternoon, so I mean, they may just not have done it yet. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you.
Somebody in her comment section says, unbelievable. She waited until trash truck came and left before calling.
I was thinking about it, right? Like they said, this boy likes to hide, and would it be possible that he was trying to hide? But then I think about the fact that his mom said he doesn't like to be dirty, and it's like, no, he wouldn't voluntarily get into a
not the trash can.
Into a trash can if he doesn't like being dirty. So I don't know.
So they're back out there today taking pictures of the backyard. That's also very weird to me.
How is it that you claim your true crime? Can we just talk about this for a minute? And one of the first ones that we watched her do, she said she was going to be one of the best true crime channels, all this stuff. But It's odd to her that law enforcement went back out. How are these things odd? How are standard procedures and investigations odd to you people that claim you do true crime? These things are not odd. Searching a landfill, not odd. Sorry, I got real mad there for a minute, Elizabeth. Like, none of this is odd. There's a child missing, a teenager.
Like, that's strange, right? Like, why are you looking, like, what are you taking pictures of?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
And why? Like, what are you looking for in the photo? I guess that's, I don't know, it's freaking weird. But anyway, no one is giving up on the ongoing search for Sebastian, but at the same time, authorities appear.
Wally, it's still going to happen no matter what. It's still going to happen. They're still going to find a way to twist it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it was, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that it was even stated and the way it was stated.
Appear to be moving forward with a possible criminal investigation. They've named no suspects, and detectives say that Sebastian's family has been cooperative. As this investigation continues to evolve, authorities are still going through security camera video from homes in the area, and they do continue to depend on tips from the public. Now, did you guys, I'm sure you guys have seen it by now, the interview with the parents on the screen, not just them talking?
Yes, we saw it.
Let me play this too.
Breaking news, crews are at a Kentucky landfill right now, and it's all related to the search for a missing teen. An Amber Alert is still in effect for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, who has autism. He disappeared from his home in some more news.
We already watched these.
All right. So
sorry, if you want to see any of that, we've already watched the news segments up until this time. We always start the day out with the actual news articles, so you see what was actually being said in the news. She found some off-kilter written article that was filled with misinformation. Instead of going right directly to the news sources, now she finally goes to the news sources. This is a problem. This is why people with no experience in actual investigations or that can source shit should not be calling themselves true crime or armchair detectives. Truly.
So that's just them basically talking again about how they're out at that landfill. Now, I will say the dad did an interview. You can't see him. You can only hear him. And what we have learned is he is actually a sheriff deputy sheriff with Davidson County, which is Nashville, you might as well say. Okay. It's about 30, 45 minutes from here is where his dad works. Did you guys hear the interview with his dad? If he was hiding the trash can, the lid was closed. Teresa, that's true. But I do agree with Cletus. If he is not a person who likes to get dirty, I don't know why he would crawl in there.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's hard for me to think that would be the situation, right? And I mean, they're saying it's a precautionary thing, which, okay, fair enough. But the reality is nobody has seen any sign of this kid, right? And that is the one thing we now know happened during the window of time of his disappearance that we've been told. So it's kind of hard not to jump to the conclusion that, yeah, y'all are thinking this is what happened.
No. Like, how do we jump there? How do we jump there? Oh my God, for people that claim they do true crime and are so damn good at it, this blows my mind to go back and listen to how ignorant they were.
But I don't know.
All of these people, not just her.
I know when we were watching the interview with the mom and dad, where you could actually see them on the screen, we were talking about their behaviors and stuff and looking at it and talking about it compared to other cases. And, the mom was definitely rocking back and forth. I mean, she was upset. And it's like, does that indicate something? Does it not? You don't really know. But
well, I just think, for me personally, I think about
trying to read their body language. She's sped up a lot too.
Madeline Soto's mom.
Right.
Fucking no, right there. I'm sorry. That pisses me off. And I'm sorry if it doesn't piss you off. But every indication we have from law enforcement up until this time has been that he walked out. We've seen nothing but thorough searches from law enforcement. We know that they are doing a very good investigation. And here we are comparing the parents' body language to Madeline Soto. Akira, thank you for becoming a member again.
And it was like that, just extreme shaking and whatever. I will say this much, after watching the interview with the two of them on camera, that's why I don't like when people just come on and they just like speak. You know what I mean? Not me, I'm different. But I'm talking about, like, if you're in the middle of something and it's centered around you, the parents, I don't like when they do that, because everyone was saying he seems so controlling. He seems like he don't want her to talk, blah, blah, blah. Watching them on the television, did not get that impression. No. That bitch could say whatever she wanted to when she wanted to speak. Now, is it different because they're on camera and he knows this? Maybe. But I feel like the night they were on the phone with that lady, it could have been a situation where she was upset and didn't want to speak or couldn't.
That lady was Duchess.
Speak. If you're a mom and you're really upset about your kid, I can't imagine how you'd be calm enough to talk.
Yeah.
like Madeline Soto's mom. Like I look at her and I'm like, girl,
I actually agree with Clue on this part.
if I were you right now, I would literally be like beside myself. I would not be doing an interview.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but hold on, let me look at behavior. Is that the channel sipping on? Is the behavior panel? The fake whiny cry, and both of them, one rock, the other sugar salt. And I do agree with that. Like I can't imagine, like y'all know how I am, like with my child who literally just got her driver's license and drove for the first time to school today. I've checked her location. I made her text me when she got there. You know what I mean? And it's like, if something happened to her, like, I mean, I'm telling y'all right now, there's no way I could speak. I could not physically talk. And in that case, you would take over because you probably would be better at, you would be a wreck inside, but I think you could be better at holding your emotions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a man. You're a man. But Florida baby, I guess Florida baby. Okay, Florida baby. That's what I'm going with. Welcome to the Clue Crew. Okay, I'm out of practice on that. Maybe I do need to get online a little more.
Wow.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna tell y'all this. I think the trash can was there when we rode by, but it wasn't at the end of the street. I think it was sitting by the garage.
Yeah, I can't remember for sure.
I
I
swear.
know it wasn't at the end of the street because we went back and looked for the trash cans and being out, and we saw the ones down the road from the house out, but not at the house.
God dang, I gotta say at Demon Dog. Demon Dog.
The comment section in this autumn is cruel as fuck. The fake whining crying from both of them. One rocked, the other shook herself. Neither cried. Comparing Katie and Madeline Soto. Already, March 7th.
I am so with you.
Excuse me, Madeline Soto's mom, Jennifer Soto.
Let me tell you, we saw two stories yesterday that it's like, I hate this place. I hate this world. Like, I'm not kidding. It makes you just despise the fact that people are still breathing. Not you guys, of course, right? But everyone else. We saw one where dad, and it's women. Listen, it's women, okay? I know men do some messed up stuff, but the number of females that are acting a damn fool is out of control. Let me tell you something. This is just a public service announcement. Y'all are welcome to pass it on, clip this part of it, and share it. If you are a woman and you have a baby, I don't care what kind of baby it is. I don't care if it's a boy. I don't care if it's a girl. I don't care if it's got both parts, a hermaphrodite. I don't care if it's black. I don't care if it's white. I don't care if it's Asian, Chinese, whatever. And you don't want it, bring it to me. Bring me the kid. I will take care of that child. I will promise it will not die, and it will have a very fulfilling life. Because I'm really sick of seeing stories where these kids are just gone, like for nothing.
Well, we saw it one in North Carolina.
That's what I was going to get into. Just yesterday, we're watching the news. We see one story where a dad, okay, these big bad men out here, this dad simply goes to pick up his kids. It's his weekend with the babies, okay? 2 4-year-old twins, okay? If you have one baby at a time, that's a miracle. You have 2, that is a super miracle. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. The fact that your ovaries function extremely well and have eggs that can split. You know what I mean? 2 4-year-old twins drowned in a bathtub by the mama. He goes to pick them up and they're dead. It's a 911 call and it will break your heart to hear it.
Because he's the one that calls 911 and she's still there. She just told him what she done.
Told him that she drowned the babies. Let me see, can I find the story? Tell him about the other one.
What was the other one? I don't even remember.
Hold on. I'm gonna have to think for a
Well, I
second.
know we got the one out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, about an hour from Sebastian, that there's another little girl missing. The dad's, looking for her, and my understanding is they're pretty.
I'm fast forwarding. Sorry, I'm over it already. Yeah, I'm over it. And she goes into this other case, and then here comes her review of these Chris and Katie.
Oh, stop talking. Okay. Oh, let me by. Stop talking back. Anyway, I'm such a squirrel. Like, whoa, I'm all over the place today. I've gotten out of doing this. That's crazy. It's only been like 3 days or something, but you already like get out of doing it, and you're the use of the word actually was just really weird to me. Like, as opposed to typically he doesn't have a good weekend. You know what I mean? I do agree with that, CL, and the mom not making eye contact. And then the part about the door being locked. So this little boy left this house and the door is locked. How does that? It doesn't track with me, right? Then
Picking apart their stories.
Minecraft fan, but don't game. I don't know if you can even play Minecraft offline. I don't know how that works. I'm not a Minecraft person. The sound of that hammer, it gets on my nerves, right? It's too much like repetitiveness. If someone has a cold around me and they cough too much, I'm like, get the fuck out of me. Like, get out of my face. Get away from me. I can't take it. So I'm not a Minecraft person. And then the whole timing of she knew within 3 minutes, right? It's weird to me that she states this number very specifically in more than one interview. Verbatim, 3 minutes. I find that it's almost like one of those things that, is it like, did you rehearse this? And you did a really good job at remembering your lines?
Wow. I didn't catch that when I watched this. Did you rehearse this? Because she said she knew within 3 minutes numerous times. They're asking if she rehearsed this. Again, this was by March 7th. You guys get the gist of how this goes.
I know I sound probably crazy, but
no, I don't think you sound crazy. I mean, it's, things that you notice, right? I mean, it's it's how this works.
What?
That's how this works? No, dude. No, this isn't how this works. Law enforcement, people that actually bring people home, pick through these stories. Oh,
Which one?
Listen, said you should know that I'm around a lot then.
Talking to Florida, baby.
Okay, so you can play Minecraft without.
Be online.
At CO, I'm with you on that. Trash truck just pulled away. Time to call. So you don't game, you just design things, which I mean, whatever, to kids, that's probably fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
she didn't call until like an hour and 20 minutes after the trash truck left.
I will say this much though. It's the inside info I got that he was very high functioning. It wasn't even in special classes. Why do the parents say he's still like a kid?
Claiming inside info, part of the playbook. We already know. We've already seen her do this.
Are they talking about like just maturity wise or?
That's, I don't know, right?
It's not inside info either. And they can describe him in that way emotionally, and then he might behave differently in different settings. Like there could be reasons for that.
It's hard to picture for me and really get an understanding of this kid and how he is, right? Or think of a point of reference that I've got in my mind. I mean, I kind of get there, but that is one of the things that creates a conflict for me is the fact that teachers say that, he's a great kid, he's social, he's, blah, blah, blah. But
he's normal.
Right. Like
Oh, Miss Liverbird, tomorrow there will be 14 more. 14 more. Every single creator on the green team and extended will be ripping it and reviewing it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's, and let me guess, it's Spanky and BJ. I'm assuming it's Spanky and BJ probably are the two, if I'm going off of late night.
He almost like there's absolutely nothing wrong with him. When you listen to the parents and or the mom and stepdad, and it's like, yeah, that may be not exactly the case based on the way they say it. So I don't know.
Shocked.
It's weird.
I do agree with you, Florida baby. I wish the parents described his functionality better. Like his favorite color is not helpful. I do agree with that. But again, I will say a lot of things in the trash, I can't stand change. It's pointless. It's useless. Everything ought to be $1 even.
Okay, I'm over it already. Like, I'm over it. You guys get the narratives that are being spun, the targeted everything, the misinformation that's being spread, the terrible sources for misinformation, and this being pumped out here.
I was just like, no, that's odd, right, to me.
That person that we watched, the behavior person for the Madeline Soto case, I remember the lady saying that is a way to like console yourself or look overly upset when you're not.
Oh no, the cops are coming to take me away. Haha.
Or like it's a way to project innocence.
I got you.
Even when you may not have innocence to project, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
We've got volunteers, we've got law enforcement from within the state, outside of
I figured it was those two. One can barely stay awake, and the other one just anything that he can do to rip these people to shreds. He salivates. Spanky honestly salivates over this. It's really gross. It's not about the money for him. His is some psychological fucking look.
the state. Do you feel like they're doing as much as they can? I mean, you all have been right there in the front seat, seeing everything that's underway.
As far as I know, they're doing everything. Anything and everything has been an option. They've brought in assets and resources from various counties.
Notice, I want you guys to pay attention. I'm going to slow this down. I want you to pay attention. Granny pointed this out a couple weeks ago. But look at the scratches on his arms. Look at that interview right now. Look at the lighting in this interview. This is the same interview that you have seen all these deep marks, scratches, everything. Hey, Joe, look at how enhanced they had to get them to show you. This is the interview with this scratched arm.
Potentially other states. I mean, I don't know how much more they could do.
You can see a few.
But we're grateful for everything they have done.
You can see a few right there on his arm, but they totally look like dog scratches. Look right there. They had to enhance those and change the lighting so drastically to get those to show up beyond this point. It's unreal. Look at that. When Granny pointed that out, I was like, oh shit, you're right. Because I've never given I'm not trying to solve this case. I'm not an investigator. He said it was from his dogs. I believe it's from his dogs. I have no reason not to believe what they say. Some things I question, if there's stories changes, like, yeah, but I have no reason to not believe that's from a dog. It's definitely not teeth marks, like they've said.
They're amazing, but they still haven't brought my baby back.
Linky,
I'm just
she
gonna
does.
tell you something right here. I got no lie to tell. That statement pissed me off so bad. As many people was out here searching, like y'all should have seen the rodeo that was out there when we drove by. And
Why does this piss you off?
I'm so glad that we went on Sunday, because on Monday they had
No, I'm glad she's out there searching. I'm glad that you're out there searching, Clue. I'm really glad that you are out there searching. Thank you for doing that, because man, you needed to work off some of this aggression that you had towards them and what you said about them in the beginning of this and painted a narrative about them. I could say some shit.
just totally cleared out of that area. So it was literally like it was the last day to see
God,
everything going on.
I don't like people on social
And I'm
media.
really glad that we went out there.
Oh, Duchess, I did introduce, I know you're too tired to type, but I did tell them that we will be doing like a recap, weekly recap, funny and serious and all the things. Like, we will be starting that too. Duchess, she was going to do it. She was going to do like the serious like discussion, like all the things that I'm like, no. We're also going to add in the top 10 worst looks of the week from these pieces of crap. Like, we're going to add a funny segment in there too. Like, we're going to do a fun section and a good section. Poor Duchess is like, God, Becky, shut up.
Right. But to say they're amazing, but they still haven't brought my baby back. That was like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like if I were the sheriff, if I were
right?
the people on the horses, whatever, walking.
Joe, that was so intentional. That was intentional. I'm sorry. That was intentional. That was intentionally brought up. That was intentional. And the way it was implied was definitely intentional.
Even it don't matter. Like, that would be like, oh, okay, bitch, what else do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Give me some inside info. You know something I don't know? Like, it was just kind of rude.
Yeah. No,
and almost like placing blame on someone else, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I could, we'll see what comes out in the end, right? And you'd be able to look back and say, okay, yeah, that maybe wasn't.
Yeah, I can't. Her chat is already going after them so badly. I'm a trucker. We are going to do like the top 10 look fails, like missing brow, too pointy brow, like just my petty side is going to come out a little bit, which always comes out, truthfully. And to those of you in here that are like, don't look shame, body shame, I'm doing it all. I'm 100%. Yep. These parents have been targeted with misinformation that is forever life-changing. If these creators can't take me taking a jab at their fucking eyebrows, they need to get a life. These are intentional choices that they're making. And it's the nicest thing I can say about them. I could say a whole lot more, but me going after their brows is harmless in comparison to what they do to these families.
Indication of something. And it's worth noting for sure, right? Because it was something that's a little like what
Pantless creator.
Like, have you been out there searching?
Well, and that is something that I wonder too, right? Is how so they didn't want the public out there, right? And I to some degree understand that. I do kind of understand that, especially once we saw the amount of people they had out there.
But not at this point.
Well, but I don't know. You just have to arrest me. You know what I mean? Like, y'all want to go out there, you don't want the public self. That's fine. I ain't the public. I'm the parent.
I'm the parent,
you
right?
Know what I mean? And we don't know if they have been involved in the searches or not, right? But it is something that.
Can you imagine? I'm just going to say this. We're ending this. I can't even listen to it anymore. I can't. Love you too, Lanky. I can't listen to it anymore. You guys see what's happening. I mean, it's clear. And we have ones coming up that we have to listen to her on because the misinformation that she spreads is hefty. I don't feel like doing it tonight. Don't feel like doing it. You can get the gist of what they were already doing to this family. she's been a part of. I mean, this is the third stream that we've inlaid in the 3-part series. I just can't do it. What was I going to say? Shit, there was something important that I wanted to say. I don't remember. It totally just went right off my head. Oh, about the searches. Can you imagine if Chris, Katie, or Seth went out searching and found Sebastian or any type of article or anything of clothing or anything of Sebastian's? It will be instantly ridiculed that it was planted, that they did it intentionally. They are in a lose-lose situation. And it's smart for law enforcement to not want families out there searching. There is no Lanky. Kyle does not cook. That is one thing. He'll help me, but he does not cook. But can you imagine? They're in a lose-lose situation. Nothing they do will ever be enough. There is nothing. Lanky, races are coming up in February. We'll be streaming races again. Yeah, the deflection is 100%. By the way, shout out to you that were in the comment section over there at Truce pushing back. I couldn't do it. I was in there and I was on like way behind because I didn't even know about it. And I don't watch that, but that just let me know. And I was like, fuck. So I went in and was trying to catch up. There was a few things in the beginning I agreed with, like a few things of like playing games, things like that. Like I could agree with. And then it just took a dive south like I was not expecting. I spoke on that in the beginning of this too. If you want to hear my thoughts, I might choose to review it because I got some thoughts that probably are going to piss people off, which I don't care. I mean, this is what I do. But I feel bad for this family. Nothing they do or say is enough. And again, I go back to you guys. We don't have to like these people. These are families going through their worst times. Anybody's family under a microscope. We all have things that we're not proud of. Everybody has skeletons in their family. Everybody has family members that we wish we didn't have in our family tree. Every person has some sort of something. Everybody's got struggles, everything. Imagine your child going missing. You genuinely have no clue where they're at and being targeted by social media all day, every day for 9 months. 9 months. I can't imagine what any of them are going through. And I don't like Seth. Let me be very clear. Like, I don't like him. I think we've been very clear. Kyle and I have both been very clear on what we think he did, who he is. Oh, by the way, I got some comments from Betty's chat. Hold up, from Katie's supposed family member. Hold on, I forgot about that. Shit. Told you guys I have way too much shit going on. Let me see if I can find them. Oh, right here. Are these the ones? Yes. Yada, whatever her name is. Betty was giving excuses for Katie being 12 and Seth being 10 years older. And Yada comes in with a $5 super chat and says to Betty, Katie knew Seth as a young teen. He lived at her dad's home in VB. She babysat for his ex. Why did he live at her dad's home? That's a little strange. But then she goes on to say one more, and she said she lived there as well, but had a boyfriend. Yeah, I'm sure she did have a boyfriend before him. Like, what? What? Not that that made it any better. Yeah, Hoosier. 100%. You could tell. I mean, she said that. She said that in her own statements. Yeah, that's what she said in Betty's. That's absolutely what she said. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. His ex, children of his ex. What? Betty was doing the spin and trying to spin, why they knew each other when she was 12. Mm-hmm. Oh, Hoosier, that doesn't shock me. I got that feeling 100% too. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that became even more concerning to me, those statements from her though. Yep, she sent it in a super chat. The first one was in a super chat, and then the follow-up was just a regular comment. Yep. 100% wild. Wild. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to go to bed. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your night. Get some rest. Or you can go doze off with the sleepy one or the dramatic one with the stupid buttons and his chicken party. If you really want to be pissed off before the end of the evening. Yeah, Lisa. Yeah, absolutely. Completely denying it. I mean, it's just like, whatever. If you need no-dos, she's on. Or I heard she'll put you to sleep. And the other one, he's a melatonin. You got fucking melatonin and Ambien of YouTube. Have fun. Go fall asleep. Gilbert Gal, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Seriously, I really appreciate all of you guys. Sorry, that was low. No, it wasn't. I mean, no doses keeps you up. She's more like Ambien Annie. Usually I call Mal that. So that's usually a term of endearment. But you're welcome. Melatonin pal over there. That's Spanky. Somebody called him wallpaper at one time, and then he started being called the melatonin of YouTube. And I was like, now that's some funny shit. Terry, we can hold hands together. Just shut it off. Just shut it off. Absolutely, Kim. There's no excuses. Absolutely no excuses. And people even attempting to make excuses or make it a situation that's acceptable make me sick. Oh, shit. Kiki just ran off. Come on, Dexter. You go that way. Dexter, go that way. I got to go get killer Kiki. All right, you guys. Good night.